Welcome back to the Culture Crusade. I'm here with Lit Dev, and Mike is on the way. He said he's running a tad late. We'll see, Mike. We'll see just how late you are, because you said a tad, and a tad implies something small, and so you're on the clock. We're up to 10 minutes, almost. You
got 2 more minutes before you disqualify a tad.
That's exactly right. But it's good to be back. How you go? Oh, wait. Wow. All right. Okay. You did it, Mike. You qualified for a tad late.
A tad late. I was within a bit. I was just a bit within, so I made it to the tad. And sorry, I'm way down here. Let me fix that.
Yeah. Why are you drowning? What's going on?
I think maybe I set the camera too high.
A bit. So you always have interesting backgrounds that you pick there, Mike. What's the inspiration for this background?
I wanted a background that was a similar tone to my room, and when you see this weird thing here, it doesn't shock you.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So if I do freaking this, I mean, it's cool and all.
Yeah, but it stands out a bit more. It stands out a bit more.
Yeah, right.
I agree with you there.
But then he's just hanging out there.
Hey,
Zuckerberg's a little bit less Big Brother these days, so I have this one. I could be, in a majestic palace or back to school classroom. That one kind of works.
Kind of works.
But I think this one everything just kind of, and it's Japanese, so.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen.
Overall milieu.
So the Thunderbolts is out. Have you had the pleasure to watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it last night, actually.
But I would say, Last of Us got all freaking gay again.
I saw the clip where
extra gay.
I saw the clip, what's her name? Ellie was like, "I'm going to be a dad." I was like, "Okay, well."
Oh my gosh!
If you could not see where that was just going to be a prominent thing that they're going to constantly try and derail the show to push, their representation and message. If you didn't notice that from episode 4 of season 1, I don't know what to tell you guys. The writing was on the wall. That's when I was like, I'm done. I can see where this is going. They're clearly going to kill off Joel.
You can't just have 2 girls be friends. Really? This is not allowed.
It goes the other way. You can't have 2 guys be friends. People have been trying to, ship Frodo and Sam for years. That they,
Captain Bucky.
Not only can they not be friends, if 2 lesbians enter a room together, they are automatically together. It's called lesbian magnets.
Yeah. And it's so dumb because the episode before, she's like, "I know you're gay, and I'm not." And then this one, she's like, "I'm gay too." It's like
quality writing. It sounds like.
I don't know who saw this. The story, The Last of Us, about it's a traumatic story about the end of humanity, at the end of days, essentially during this zombie apocalypse. All about where Ellie has maybe the one cure, and it's the idea of, should we sacrifice her for the rest of humanity, or is humanity should pay for its sins of causing this in the first place and keep Ellie alive? She doesn't deserve to die for the sins of humanity. And they saw this heartbreaking story, this heart-pounding story about a father who lost his daughter, who gained a new one and betrayed his old group so she could survive. Saw this and said, "I know, gender politics. That's perfect ground for gender politics." Who saw this? Somehow this happened.
And the core relationship is the surrogate father relationship with Joel has with Ellie, and what should I know? Let's kill off Joel in the most unceremonious way. After is basically accuses being a villain by his surrogate daughter and stuff like that, and the character utterly betrayed. And
Shad, we just can't have nice things.
We can. You just need to know where.
But we have to make them ourselves.
And we have to make them ourselves. Yes. Speaking of potential nice things, back to Thunderbolts. Lit Dev, what did you think?
I really liked the movie.
You liked it?
I was told we're going to be fighting about it.
Well, here's the thing. I have nothing against people that like it. And I Jeremy, good old Jeremy, Geeks and Gamers Jeremy, he liked it as well. And my position is that there are likable moments in it. There's actually some character
it's like most of the movie
history that works. I think it's still a profoundly dumb movie overall and bad with likable parts in it. Sorry, what?
It's not Shakespeare or anything.
Oh,
it's a good popcorn munching movie. I felt excited watching it. It's like a good action flick. I wouldn't say it's Shakespeare.
No. I mean, when you break down the plot, it's really stupid.
Let me ask you a question. I assume it's not Guardians of the Galaxy level, of course.
No.
But the thing Guardians of the Galaxy had for it was there was no Robert Downey Jr., right? Everybody was like, I mean, Chris Pratt was just like doing voices in the Lego Movie and coming from Parks and Recreation. And everybody loved him, but he wasn't like Chris Pratt is now. Right. So everybody in that movie was kind of like, I don't want to say an also ran. There was a great cast and all that stuff, but no, there was no star trying to suck the oxygen out of the room. And this ensemble seems very much like in that vein. Did it work to that end, or?
So Yelena is.
Well, Shad, you just hate everything. Lit Dev.
Well, first of all,
I gave it some credit, Mike. I said there were likable things in it.
Well, look, it began. I never read the actual the original Thunderbolts comics. I was more of a DC guy.
I did it. I'm pissed. Anyway, we'll get there.
I could see where they Frankenstein the plot from, and the first one was like it was a smarter version of the first Suicide Squad movie. You know, the one with Will Smith in it. It's like a smarter version of that because their idea was, oh, if we get attacked by Kryptonians again, we need a defense mechanism. So let's get insane psychopaths trapped in prison to defend us. That's a good idea. No, these people were smarter, and she's like, how about we just make our own Superman that we can control and who's not insane. Now this one happened to become insane, like Homelander style, but that's because he was an accident.
Was that Sentry?
Sentry. Yeah. Nice. They make Sentry, but the thing is, he's like, it was an accident. They didn't think he was going to survive, but he did.
So to give him credit, yeah, he was supposed to have been a test subject to see if the stuff would work, and then they would make the Sentry. But she's an idiot. She destroyed everything. Like all the research because she was getting impeached.
Who is the she in this situation?
Madam Hydra, even though she's not Madam Hydra, like in the movie, but that's
the CIA. I call her CIA lady. I forgot what her actual name is.
CIA lady. That works.
And so the test subject is the only kind of thing left that she might be able to use to save her from impeachment if she can get this guy to work.
His name is Bob.
His name is Bob.
I know that because they kept playing it.
Bob the character was likable. He was a likable character. I'm a fan of the Sentry. Like I've got.
Did he have gynecomastia?
This is when he's introduced in the New Avengers. Okay, like the concept behind the Sentry is really cool. I think they fumbled that in the translation to this adaptation. I don't think they nearly utilize what he is capable of. Having said that, though, is still the most interesting kind of part of the movie. Because the Sentry is an interesting character.
Sentry was Marvel's take on Triumph,
Superman,
from DC.
Oh, it was the Superman. I feel like that he was.
Well, Triumph was a character that was supposedly written out of history, who actually formed the JLA, and then Sentry did something like that in the Marvel, and then he was like written out of Marvel history, and I was like,
yeah. So I'm gonna full screen myself so you guys.
Hey, guess who drew the Triumph miniseries?
Oh, was that so? They created like artwork of the Sentry in the past with all the other heroes, even though he was created in more modern kind of period in the 2000s. Was it 90s or 2000s? I thought it was
90s.
But yeah, they have like
late.
They
90s.
created like the fact that this is actually an old school character, and they even made a fiction, and they'll open that this was fiction, that he was created by Stan Lee back in the day, right? And he had been part of Marvel's roster for ages, and his arch nemesis was the Void, and he always fought the Void. And throughout this arc that is in the past and forgotten, he discovered the Void is actually a projection of himself. He has schizophrenia, split personality, and his power is so great that literally this separate personality, can manifest as a physical entity in the world, which is this kaiju monster at times called the Void. In the past, he realizes it's him and he has to merge himself with the Void. And to try and undo the damage or mitigate or anything, he erases his presence from the history of the Marvel Universe and locks himself in a prison to be forgotten. But the Void starts to re-emerge in the modern day, which is where the arc of the New Avengers comes in, and only the Sentry can defeat the Void, and the Sentry kind of now is a character. They do none of that, though. They do none of that with the past or anything like that. There's none of that cool, interesting thing. They kind of jump with... because the creation of the Sentry in the comic books was the attempt to recreate Captain America's super soldier serum, test subjects and all that. But that happened like years ago. And then he had that arc in the movie. They just grabbed that. And that's the modern thing. Like Madam Hydra was trying to, create a new superhero, Superman, thing to deal with the threats. And then without double checking that anything worked, they assumed that this test subject died. She's like killing everyone, like wholesale everyone.
She does work for the government, and that's I assume that's how the government functions. So, and the fact that the entire operation was a complete total disaster is also how I assume the government functions. So I mean, to me, it felt realistic.
I think this ruins Yelena's character really fundamentally, because Yelena, she was controlled by the Red Room, and all the assassinations and stuff she did was against her will. She's actually a good person at heart that didn't want to do that, and she felt really bad. Now she's working for this corrupt CIA official, murdering anyone that she's told to, even just security guards. Murder, bullet to the head type thing. And then she's confronted at the beginning of the film. She's confronted by this scientist who's like, "Oh, this could destroy the world." Yelena doesn't even give a crap. And ends up killing the scientist. And the scientist actually saying, there's a danger, there's a threat to the world. Yelena doesn't give a crap, kills him anyway. It's like, oh, so she's a heartless, evil murderer. Don't really care about her now. And then she's like, I'm sad. That's her thing.
I think she accidentally kills him. They struggle and some of that, and she actually shoots himself in the face. She's like, oh, crap, I needed him.
Yeah, but only for not because she didn't
for the face.
She needed the face recognition, not because she cared about his life, whether he was innocent or not. That comes up. And so I did not like Yelena at all in this. Bob was enjoyable.
I like Walker. I like Walker in this movie.
Well, I was going to bring up Walker as
Walker's my favorite. That guy was the whole thing. I feel seen. Well, Walker made him feel seen. He's like, Bob, how do you want to die? Would you stop saying Bob? I'm like, hey, and it's like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme. It's like, hey, it's me. Stop saying Bob.
I have conflicted feelings about Walker in this film, because he is one of the few competent people presented in the film at all, but everyone around him is constantly crapping on him and not taking him seriously. He literally is like, all right, this is the plan. And he's like, shut up. We're going to do this. Her plan fails. Walker's plan was correct, and no one gives him any credit for it. They're in the shaft. He saves everyone's life, and everyone craps on him for it. And then when they're revealing the dark things of their past, okay, Walker's dark past is that he didn't pay attention to his infant child the way his wife wanted him to, even though he was looking after him, and that made him a bad person. And you see what he's in depression. He's being totally attacked online falsely. Oh, and don't get me started on that line when who is it? Ghost says you murdered an innocent man on live TV, which is such a bullcrap representation of what happened in The Falcon and Winter Soldier. And what?
Well, then he fires back with what define innocent. So he does fire back at her.
Not very much. It's he could have said, yeah, that guy was a murdering terrorist that I stopped. He could have said that, which was true.
I think he does take crap, yeah. But I think they all do. I remember the ghost was like, I grew up in a lab. She's trying to give her a stupid sob story. And then Yelena's like, shut up. None of your sob story. Mine is worse. So they all start crapping on each other. I feel more it's I know it's typically in situations Walker is a straight white man and he gets all the crap and he's wrong, but I think they all get crap. They all take it, and it's Ghost.
A little bit. I think Walker cops it more than others.
He's the most aggressive, I think, because he's the most aggressive personality. He's kind of jock. He's very much of a jock. When he says I used to play varsity football, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense.
Like he should be Captain America. He is such a better Captain America.
I do like him. Like he was my favorite character in that squad.
Yes.
Oh, well, again, other than Red Guardian. Red Guardian was also a lot of fun.
He was fun, right? Red Guardian was fun, but I think they messed up his motivations, though. I guess that's in line with this character. So Red Guardian was more the goof kind of comic relief,
goofball, but he's still a hero. Like he still has a heart of gold.
He had a good moment with Yelena when he was trying to basically.
They gave him credit for it too.
Yeah,
she's like
You see Clint's comment.
Let's be honest, Walker is. See, I don't even think Walker goes that far. Walker's actually quite tame, that everyone around him is treating him like he's this horrible, murdering scumbag. And it's just like,
I don't even think that when we go back to his dark memory, I don't even think he was trying to paint him as a bad guy. Because at first it kind of is at the beginning. I was like, I was like, okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. It's good. He's a neglectful father. He's an asshole dad. But then we see that he was being essentially canceled. Like so, because in the beginning of the memory, it was just him watching the kid while he's scrolling his phone, like, oh, asshole dad. He doesn't care. But then we see that his reputation is being destroyed, annihilated online, and he's being canceled. So it's like the wife gets angry at him, and it's like the reason why he feels balanced is because we have we see a reason why he's like that, and we see a reason why his wife is angry. So I don't think it really paints him as a bad guy.
I agree. Moment. That scene doesn't paint him as a bad guy, but the film thinks it does. Like the film is presenting this as the dark, evil things these people have done in the past. Because compare it to all the other characters where they're murdering people, right? Those are their dark moments, and so the film is trying to say this is his evil origin.
I'm not sure because it's like I think it's more like what they feel guilty for. And even with Bob, when like his dad was beating up his mom, it feels like he was guilty because he couldn't defend her. So I think it's more like what they feel because we get this with Yelena too. She feels guilty because her first test was leading that girl out into the forest to get shot. She feels guilty because she was the first one to put together the guns, so the other girls got whipped. She would feel guilty because she drank herself to oblivion to drown out the guilt. I think it's more like what they feel guilty for, and the rest of the movie kind of paints that with Walker because every time he thinks about that moment of him and his wife and his kid, he feels guilty. It's a sore spot for him. As opposed to
that's a good point.
That I'm evil. It's more like what they feel guilty for. I think
it's still I think you're correct actually on that. I think that's a good point. It still felt like the movie was trying to present it at he's actually a bad guy, and he's not. Especially that line that you murdered an innocent man.
Yeah, that was kind of cringe. Look, I'm not saying there's not any cringe moments in this movie, but it's like there were some Marvel sludge in here. Okay, it's not completely clean.
Oh.
Like the point where Bucky takes out of his arm out of the dishwasher. I was like, oh, geez, okay.
Oh, dude, no. Like one that, in terms of just sheer stupidity, right? Where Madam Hydra's kind of whatever thing, right, to murder the agents that have been working for her to wipe the slate clean, that there's no things sending back to her, right? Is to send them supposedly to stop
each other.
Well, no, not just that. To stop a theft of highly sensitive material in this thing, right? And so she sends 4 people in, and each one of these 4 people think the person, like the next person, is the one stealing or robbing or whatever.
I thought it was kind of funny. It's like I don't like the government very much. So
I'm with you there. But my point is, this plan is just so retarded. It's like, okay, what if they found there's supposed to be one person robbing, and then one of them sees, there's 2 people trying to go in, or there are so many ways that plan could have been ruined, where they notice each other before they're trying to sneak in, and they're like, I need to kill you. Are you the thief? No, I'm not the thief. I thought they could have that could have failed on so many ways. It's such arbitrary kind of circumstantial nonsense that sets up the thing, and then her plan is she wants to kill them all. And so there's a room that's the entire thing is built as an incinerator on a countdown, when all she needed to do is plant a bomb there and set it off once they're all there. And instead of not just having an incinerator and flicking the switch, they literally put a timer in the room to let the characters know that, oh, you got 2 minutes to live and then you're all going to be incinerated. It was like, it gave me such of those Dr. Evil vibes where I was like, I'm going to put them in an easily escapable situation involving an overly elaborate and exotic death.
Well, she is a member of the CIA, so I assume that's how the government traps work. But to me, the room itself kind of made sense, and here's why. Because that room was full of sensitive information, and so to me, that room was there to, like, the incinerator was installed in that room, not to kill people, but to incinerate evidence. And because, like, we see that's what's happening in the beginning. So the idea would be that we're going to install the incinerator in the room so that this, in case we get found out or this whole thing goes, blows back, then we start the timer. We can start the timer. We have enough time to escape, and then the evidence is not going to walk out by itself. So it's going to be incinerated. It wasn't, to me, I don't think that room was meant to kill people. It was meant to incinerate evidence, and the power. The reason why the power was in the room is because just in case it malfunctions or starts burning.
Well,
it, going up.
By the way, everybody in the audience, in case we haven't mentioned it, spoilers.
Oh yeah, I don't think too many people care. So there is a device that is disabling ghosts' powers specifically, and ghosts can save them from the incinerator. Yeah. And so they logic a reason to explain that the device that is disabling her powers has a separate power source inside the room they need to find to disable. And that just struck me as just, again, arbitrary, like nonsense, because
it's Marvel stuff. It's plot. Yeah. It's plot. Just
plot, where they could have, like, any number of these conflicts that they want, where it's like they need to escape from a death scenario, go see the same stuff like that. You can think of creative ways that make sense in the world building and the plot. That's what a good writer should do, is justify these moments. And when it's properly justified with world building and stuff, it makes it more satisfying when they overcome them.
I thought the movie was going to be a lot cooler, because have you ever seen the movie The Cube?
No, I have not.
It's a very interesting movie where these people get trapped into this giant, like, mathematical cube thing, and every movement is like a trap, and like a death trap and everything. I thought it was going to go that direction. I was like, that's awesome. Like, they're going to have the whole movie is going to be about them trying to get out of this death building to the other side by figuring out mathematical equations and something like that, like which room is going to be here. But I should have known better, because it's a Marvel movie. But, I thought for a second there.
What is this Madam Hydra CIA lady thinking? Like, there's literally a character that can walk through walls, and is like, don't worry, there's a device that can disable her, even with these other competent, people that can figure that out. But again, I'm baffled. Like, if you wanted to kill them, just plant a bomb in the room, set the bomb off. And then they could have discovered the bomb before it was ready to go off, and then they could resolve that conflict. Like, the whole kind of incineration thing, just.
I think her whole thinking was like, she mentions in the movie that she believed them to all be such, like, social retards that they will just kill each other, and they won't even think about teaming up. And she was almost right, because one of them does end up dead, and thankfully it was Taskmaster.
Oh, it was Taskmaster get, like, removed from this film very quickly.
Fantastic. That was a good idea.
So Taskmaster could be done so cool. They ruined that. Taskmaster was utterly ruined by Black Widow, the film Black Widow. And it's annoying because Taskmaster can be. Oh, Mike, you almost, I don't know if it was on my end, but your screen went black. I was like, we lost Mike, but no, we haven't. He's still here. But right here. Hey, I got a pair of those.
Yeah?
Yeah, hang on.
Have you done a video on them?
Yeah, I've done like several videos. Ooh, cool.
Are yours metal?
No, well, I've got a metal set. These are plastic.
Would you use this in battle?
Yeah, these are the sharp metal ones.
I do have actual
videos
testing them.
Yeah,
I've done videos testing them. They're not that good.
You have to wear gloves because these
they
things will just put into the back of your.
Yes.
What if you have those claws in one hand and a pair of nunchucks in the other? How would you fare?
No comment. All right. They get out of the incinerator room. And they're trapped underground. And I'm just thinking, Ghost can literally walk through walls because she can't just, like, phase into the elevator. We saw literally the elevator take Yelena down. The doors closed behind him. and they don't explain that the elevator is back up, but she can phase through to get access to the panels that they could. And I'm assuming like super spy Yelena knows how to hotwire a door panel to get an elevator there or something like that. Any number of reasons, but they just say no, they're trapped, and she can't phase through the thing because she can only hold it for a minute, and she doesn't want to phase inside solid stone. It's like, okay, so you can hold it for half a minute, time yourself for half a minute, phase in one direction. If you don't find it, get back, try again until you find the surface or something. Anyway, there was so many setups that were just like, this is a problem because we're saying it's a problem, when there were any number of logical solutions that they could engineer. And so I got annoyed with plot stupidity like that you see like throughout. If you ignore that, there is parts to enjoy. Sorry, what?
If you had the phasing power, but you were claustrophobic. So you phase into something. You're like, no.
I mean, Ghost is actually crazy powerful. She can just phase her fist into someone's head and explode it, or their heart, or something like that, right? She's barely utilizing her power to the level that she could. And like I said, there's parts you can enjoy in it. It's one of the least worst things Marvel has done recently, and there's some fun character interactions. So that's kind of where I'm at with Thunderbolts. Like,
put it on the Marvel scale. Better than, worse than.
I would say better than Captain Falcon. I would say better than that one. And I was pretty charitable to Captain Falcon. There were some moments I enjoyed in it.
You feel like old school Marvel before the dark times happened to it, where it's still a good popcorn flick, and it kind of made sense. The story, the overall kind of made sense, especially compared to like the more modern stuff. Like, I watched Black Widow, I watched the Marvels. Those had no sense whatsoever. It's just nonsense. Absolutely terrible story structure, terrible characters. It's just like it's gonna add crap in here because we're gonna add crap in here. So it was way better than those.
Yeah. I think that you could definitely give it that charity. All right, the ending. And look, spoiler warning. We've already not cared about it, but
Snape kills Dumbledore.
Yes. Dumbledore dies.
I guess in this one, Snape's going to rob Dumbledore.
Dumbledore's gay.
Darth Vader's Luke's father. What?
The HBO version, he's going to steal Dumbledore's bike now.
Oh my gosh. So Madam Hydra, she's never called Madam Hydra in the film, but that's the character she is from the comics. The CIA lady that I can't even remember her name. She is evil. She's full-blown corrupt evil. The people on the team know this, right? She tried to murder them and murder innocent people, anything like that. And then they get caught in this at the very end. They're about to get her. She's the bad guy. They're about to get her, and she lures them into a press thing where she's like, "Ta-da! This is the team I've been working on. Aren't I a good senator?"
Oh, that was stupid. I was like, can't you still get her? Can't you
yes,
get in there, Red Guardian, tackle her.
I get her. And then she's like, I present to you, and this pissed me off, the new Avengers. And no, this is not this is the new Avengers. Right here, I'm showing the new Avengers, and it's got a wicked lineup.
Captain America's in it.
Captain America, Iron Man, Wolverine, Spider-Man, and then you got Spider-Woman, Luke Cage, and the Sentry. This is a freaking wicked lineup. That's a lineup worthy of the new Avengers. Not this group of retards, right? But they're just like, here's the new Avengers, and Yelena comes up to her and whispers, "We own you now." And it's like,
do you?
No, you don't. And what you can say is like, push her aside. She's a murderer. All this potential destruction was her fault, and we do not want anything to do with her. Arrest her. That's all you needed. You're not like this.
Every single one of them was a potential witness for all of her horrible crimes. So I thought they were gonna push her out. No, we're not doing this. Push her out of the way and start confessing all of her crimes. Here's what she's been doing. We all witnesses to it. I thought they're gonna do that, but no. Was that like?
Do they excuse that because they're supposed to be villains?
No, they're not. They're supposed to be anti-heroes. That's what they're supposed to be.
Kind of anti-heroes now. But
yeah. But Bucky, we know is a good guy now, and
okay, that one almost took me out of it. Like, how did Bucky get elected? That was one hell of an election.
Well, they showed how competent he is in front of the camera, and is a stuttering moron. He can't even string a few like competent lines together when the cameras are on him.
It's a concerning matter that's very concerning, and I'm going to assure you that this concerning matter will be catching my attention because it is concerning.
Like, he sounds like a moron, and I'm like, how did he get elected? You're undermining.
Could he at least shave?
I don't know.
Cut his hair. Like, he's like Billy Mitchell. I was like, what does this look like when he's in the courtroom? It looks like, is he the defendant? It kind of looks like he's like the guy going to jail, and he just has a suit on because he's the defendant or something.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. So, like, a lot of these characters for me get pretty like ruined and tarnished from this film. Not that, you know, Marvel hasn't been working well in doing that already with like Bucky and other characters. And like I said, Yelena, she's complicit in murder here. But it's like, it doesn't mean you shouldn't stop the evil CIA lady that is a worse person, murdering everyone, send you on those murders and everything like that. And all the evil that she's going to go on and commit potentially now is on you, Yelena, you moron. I was just like, I'm shocked by it. I also have an issue with the competence of the team in terms of their ability to stop threats. They don't have any heavy hitters, and Sentry doesn't count. Sentry is a heavy hitter. He's the heaviest hitter in the Marvel Universe almost. The power of 1,000 exploding suns, all right? This guy is crazy powerful. The way that he is restricted is the fact of his split personality and the manifestation of the void. And so he's reluctant to use his power and be the Sentry now because the void can come out. And I think they also chickened out on the void. So everyone is saved. The void the void isn't killing anyone in the big bad moment. It's just sucking people into a dimension of depression.
Guilt boxes.
Like guilt boxes. Yes. Whereas, like, you want to see what the friggin' void was doing in the comic books? Let me find an image that encapsulates what the void is actually like when they're fighting him. Oh yeah, I'm almost there. Hang on. Here it is. This is what the void is in the comics. A friggin' kaiju monster that's literally unstoppable. Like, this is big superheroes. You got Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Fantastic Four trying to take on the void, and they can't. The void is invulnerable, right? The void is that tough. The only being that can actually fight the void is Sentry. And even though Sentry could fight him in the physical world, which would have looked wicked, like see the Sentry cut loose and actually trying to stop this kaiju monster, right? If they led with that, like they do in the comic books, and then he realizes that, holy crap, this is a projection of me. I'm like, this is a side of me. I'm causing this. And the true way that the Sentry needs to fight the void is to merge with it and then deal with the darkness inside. Would have worked, like, it would have had more stakes, more gravity. He would have had more guilt if he actually caused some serious destruction and death through being the void, right? And that would have played on him a lot. And it would have been more enjoyable, more dynamic. Instead of having the void, it's he adopts Shadow Man. Hey, you might be able to relate to that, Dev. He kind of ends up looking like you.
I was like, hey, we played cards together on Saturday.
You feel seen now. You're a shadow monster.
But I think to me, the bad guy kind of made sense because he was a reflection of the main theme of the movie, which is every single one of those guys has a dark past, but that's not all who they are. And we got to kind of hammer this home when they had the discussion between Yelena and Red Guardian, where he's like, she's like, you can't be the father right now, okay? If you really cared, you wouldn't have let me go for a year. And he's like, I didn't think you'd want me. And then she starts confessing.
That was a good moment. That was a good moment between him and Yelena. Like, there's a few good moments, but then you have everything else. And I get what they were trying to say about, dealing with the darkness and stuff. It felt a little, I guess what would be the word? Feminized in terms of the way they did. Because there's a moment when Bob is actually confronting the darkness inside, and it's not a cool, like, battle or anything like that in the real world, which I think they should have led with that and then moved to this moment where he has to see that it's in him, right? And he starts to fight it, and I'm like, okay, good, you know. And the concept is like fight the darkness inside, and then they're like, stop fighting the darkness. You need a hug.
Well, it's like the aggression. It's kind of like I feel like how demons work. Like they feed and try to exacerbate your negative emotions and intentions. And so his negative emotions, like, I'm going to beat you. You ruined my life. I'm going to beat you. You beat your face in, and the void was winning because I'm tricking you into embracing your dark side even more to let it take over. And that's kind of one of the whole themes of his character was that he either runs away from these dark impulses or he avoids it and lets it take over. And so that's kind of like, you know, like his meth addiction. It's like, I let it take over. I don't care. I give into the aggression. I give into the hunger, the need to fulfill this dark desire. And so the idea was that all of these people were alone. They all experienced incredible loneliness, including Walker, because he lost his family. And so it's about all these people are alone. They have they're very lonely. They have a dark past, and they've succumbed to the dark past by working for CIA lady for this entire time. But now they're together, and we get this with Ghost, we get this with Walker, we get this with Yelena, we definitely get this with Red Guardian, where they're all alone, but they kind of feel connection with each other together and throughout the movie. This is Ghost every single time she comes back, and they always mention like, you didn't have to come back, but you came back. Red Guardian reconnecting with Yelena. So the idea is, I mean, it's the same. It's as old as time. It's like you have your friends. You can get through it together with your friends, and so you're not alone. We're here to help you. It's like, you know, you don't have to fight this alone. You have to. You do have to fight your demons, but we just know we have your back. And it was kind of like that, where it's like, okay, put away the aggression, put away the hatred, the negativity. All right, stop giving into your darkness. You can be a new person, and that's kind of what every single other character on that team underwent. They all had this darkness, and they all can become something else besides that dark person they used to be. Now, the way they kind of exemplify and highlight this fact at the end is like, oh, you're the new Avengers now, heroes, which is stupid because they should just be beating up CIA lady in front of the cameras. But yes, I know what they're going for.
Yeah, I because I think what you're saying actually has some depth to it, right? I kind of like the stories like hate the darkness and fight the darkness and destroy and beat the hell out of the evil kind of thing. And that's also what it seems like the original comic book was, with the Sentry and the Void and, you know, fighting and things. I'm not saying that there isn't a message to be had with the film. I think there is. The thing, I guess I don't mind, because I like the fact that he was fighting the Void inside. But I do get what you're saying. So in terms of them being the new Avengers, right? I'm annoyed as a Thunderbolts fan, and I'm annoyed as a new Avengers fan. I'm annoyed on both things, because now this film is...
There's no way they can be the new Avengers.
No. Like you can't rely on the Sentry to be your heavy hitter, because if he's out of the fight, this team is useless. And we saw how useless they were when they tried to fight the Sentry. As soon as they come up against not just Sentry level power, Hulk level power, even Iron Man level power, they're stuffed. They do not have the strength. Now, the Avengers was a good balanced team where they had heavy hitters. They got Thor and Hulk. They got tactical kind of fighters like Black Widow and Hawkeye. And then they have, you know, all-rounders like Captain America and Iron Man, right? That was, okay, good balanced team where they can take on any threat, the world's mightiest heroes, right? This is a team of reject super soldiers that
kind of like regular guy, like the Red Guardian had like a knockoff Soviet knockoff version of the Captain America serum.
Yep. Like if you were including Taskmaster, which, you know, totally out of the picture now, they had 3 to 4 Captain America knockoffs. You have Red Guardian, you have Bucky, Bard, super soldier, you have US agents, Captain America guy, and you have Taskmaster. And Black Widow's kind of in that same role. She doesn't use a shield. That's like the early, but by the way, 4 others have used shields at different times. All right? And so
all you need is Sam Wilson.
Yeah, bring in him, and then you have the shield heroes. That should be they are the shield heroes.
I'm pretty sure Falcon would defeat them all. I'm pretty like it's by himself.
With his vibranium
Black
tech,
power.
No, his vibranium tech actually makes
black
him
man magic.
pretty
Yeah,
tough.
right.
And I liked that they were finally utilizing some additional tech and he needs, like when you're fighting big powered things, you need to up those, power levels. But even he couldn't take on a Hulk level villain. He was getting bodied. And he isn't a super soldier on top of that, which is the big flaw with Sam Wilson trying to take on tougher enemies. And so there's an after credit scene that I actually didn't even bother watching. But I kind of want to see it now. Where
it was dumb. It was just the Red Guardians like, look, we're on the Wheaties box.
Oh yeah, I've heard that one. But there's another one where they're in the Avengers Tower and they get like a message saying that Sam Wilson is suing them for using the Avengers trademark, and that's implying that he's trying to start his own team of Avengers. And I'm thinking, like, who's on his team then? Is he actually going to get Doctor Strange, She-Hulk, Spider-Man, who's still, floating around, even though everyone
those guys could actually do something. Those guys are actually would be something. Avengers.
Like Hulk is still Hulk is on Earth. He is, and supposedly still brainy Hulk, right? At the end of She-Hulk, you see him there with his holy crap! That
doesn't count.
Who owns Avengers Tower now that Stark's dead?
There's a government.
The CIA lady. They fight.
CIA lady has it.
What?
And she said they paid crazy amounts of money for it. So
fortunately, they're like they belong to the U.S. and they have infinite money. But
yeah,
well, they can
that's how that works.
They don't have to print it; they just press a button. They just say they have it.
But that was a question I had, and I'm not saying that they should bring in these characters in the film because I know that you have to get the actors and everything like that. If you can't bring in these characters, you need to justify it. And they don't really do that because there's a moment when Bucky actually basically captures the Thunderbolts, and they're not the Thunderbolts. And so Bucky is more competent than them all because he just bodied everyone and captured them single-handedly. So
yeah. He's like 100+-year-old like super soldier agent. So to me that kind of makes sense. Like, and
yeah, I can give on him. Oh yeah, I can give Bucky that, but it does make everyone else look really incompetent and useless compared to him. It's like this team is great.
Even Yelena's like, we're losers. That's why we lost. Yes. So yeah, they know they're losers, and they kind of are. But that's kind of why I like them. They're kind of like this. They're underdogs. They fail. They fought Sentry. They didn't even come close to
not even a chance. Close to Sentry.
Like Sentry's like, give me your shield. You made my shield into a taco.
What was his shield vibrating? I was assuming his shield wasn't vibrating.
No, actually, I don't think so because it looked all damaged to begin with.
Yeah.
Now, I want to point out a couple of things with Walker. How I was surprised by how well they actually treated him during the movie. And for one, when they're trying to escape the building, and the soldiers coming in, the CIA is coming in, CIA soldiers coming in. Yelena's like, Walker, you take the first wave. Like she trusts him to take the first wave, and he does. He took them all down, and she's like, okay, oh man, Walker left us. We're all alone. Every man for himself. Which is what they would do, right? Like modern day woke writers would do to a guy like that, just basically right wing, military, Trump supporting, probably Trump supporting guy, and who like plays football, varsity football. Like, oh yeah, he's the white man asshole. He's going to betray everybody. No, he didn't. He came back. Like he was still there. Mm-hmm. He's just angry at Yelena because she failed to turn on the electricity.
Yes, and he's rightly. He has a point to being pissed about that. Everyone not following what the plan was.
And they exchanged like insults.
He has a right to just be kind of pissed generally with how badly the world has treated him. Everyone thinks he's a villain and is not. Like
he's more complex than I would give them credit for. Like I wouldn't think they would make him this complex because he's like a jerk and he's kind of aggressive, but then deep down he's still a good guy. I do like the character arc, the character development between Bob and Walker, where Walker at the beginning like, shut up, Bob, I'm going to kill you. And basically it's like a nerd and a bully.
Well, see,
like a jock.
That's where I think they betrayed his character. I don't think he would threaten anyone with murder and death. He was never like that. And the fact that he was just ready to kill Bob, I was like,
I was ready to kill Bob. I was like, come on, man.
I like Bob.
I was like, get him, Walker, shoot him, get rid of this asshole. But the thing is, you know, they had conflict, they had friction between each other. It's like Nerd and Jock, you know, in the same room, and like Jock was picking on him. And then later in the misery room, like Walker kind of like almost stands up for him and knocks out the guy's dad, and kind of like now they're bros, and they are connected later on. They do like each other later on. So I thought that was kind of a cool like bro moment where the Nerd and the Jock kind of became friends after becoming, you know, after they were enemies.
Yeah,
I like that.
So
there was one more moment. There was one more moment where the Red Guardian shows up, which was hilarious, and I thought it fit because he's driving in the middle desert with his stupid.
How the hell did he find them? That is just baffling to me.
That part I didn't know how they found it, how he found her, but
and it could have been explained. Like, Dad, how'd you find me? He's like, I put a tracker on you and you visited me.
That's what I thought. I put a tracker on you.
But like, I haven't seen you in so long, I can't be without you. But they just ignore it. It's like he just magically found him in the middle of a friggin' desert.
Yeah, and they're hiding too. He's like Yelena, don't go into the incinerator. She's gonna burn you alive. He's like, I know, Dad. That was kind of funny because they said
I found it funny when she was embarrassed because it's like, who's that? It's
oh my goodness, nobody. It's like,
that was good. That was good moments.
That was legitimately funny because there was an actual comedic moment. It was actually said it wasn't Marvel humor, because Marvel humor is like, okay, time to stop the movie and everyone's out of character now, so we can have this funny moment. Okay, the funny moment is over. Time to restart the movie and restart the plot. This was kind of like part of the plot to introduce him. A lot of even the other Marvel moments in here, where Bucky's taking out the stupid arm from the dishwasher. It's not just like, stop the movie, everybody. Time for a funny. He was actually talking to the assistant of the CIA lady and trying to turn her and make into an asset. Is that he was pulling out the dishwasher arm while he was doing it. But there's one thing that was interesting to me. I thought that was kind of like surprising to me was he picks them up in the limo, and he's like, "Oh, Captain America with those same super soldiers," and she's like, "Yeah, he's like you, except he knows what he's doing." She's talking about like Walker's competence. Like, whoa, she actually standing up for Walker.
Yeah,
so I was surprised about that.
Rare, it's a rare moment, but and it's kind of more of a dig at a dad. Like I said, I'm glad we got to point out, you know, that is a good moment.
That was a good moment.
Now, going back to, like, you know, when Bucky has them all tied up, I'm thinking, so this is the moment where you need to justify why he's not calling in Doctor Strange, She-Hulk, regular Hulk.
Obviously, Shad can't afford them. Okay, they can't.
Wong, isn't Wong the Sorcerer Supreme now, or something like that? And by the way, like, they're saying that there's a big threat on the horizon with this CIA lady. She's doing something with Bob. We need to save Bob, but something really bad potentially is there. And Bucky, there was a moment where he says something about Sam Wilson, so Captain Falcon, and that they're not talking now or something like that. I missed it while I was watching it, but people have been referring to that moment a lot, because that doesn't justify him not calling in Captain America in this crisis where millions of lives are potentially, you know.
They had the good Captain America there, so I mean.
Well, yeah, they are. But that's what I mean. Like there needed to be some justification why he's not calling in the heavy hitters.
Captain Affirmative Action.
That's always like I think that's always a major problem, even in the comic book universe. Like you're following around like the Punisher, you know, Garth Ennis, and he's like he's running into Jigsaw or whatever. Like, why does he ever call Captain America or something? There's like these giant operations. There are some where he tangles with superheroes, but like, you know, it's like Batman. Like in Batman, like he's tackling some major operations or something. Like, where's Superman? Where's Wonder Woman? It's like it is an issue. It is an issue.
Not nearly as much, because there are so many moments when they do call in everyone. Like in New Avengers, they're dealing with the Void, and so everyone shows up, right? Because something serious is about to go down.
And so envy the writers who have to write that. It's like I have to juggle all those characters.
Yeah, right. But there are moments when that happens, and I think the comic books handle it much better than the films. And the issue that the films have is that the actors, they need to pay the actors, and some of these probably have really big price tags to bring them into the film, and so therefore you need to justify it in the plot. And there are ways to do it.
That's why it's funny in Deadpool when he totally just talks about that. He's like, we can't afford all this CGI.
What are you talking about? This is too much money.
So the ways you can justify it, though, is that they get caught in this fight that they thought they could handle, and then it escalates beyond. It's like, maybe we need to call the cavalry. We can't. We're in the middle of the fight right now. We've got to deal with what we can right now. And the other heroes are literally dealing with a major threat that they can't come or anything like that. There are ways to address it that mean that they're the only ones available to deal with this threat right here and now. But they ignore it. It's just not existent. It's like, we're going to do it ourselves because I'm not talking good with my, friend or Captain Falcon or something like that. All right.
Yeah, what was the other movie where they actually did address it? And they're like, well, where's Thor? Off planet. Where's the Hulk? We can't find him.
Spider-Man Far From Home.
Is that what it was?
Can't find. It does make sense. Like, we can't find him. Oh, he's away.
Yeah.
And I did like the fact that a lot of the movie is them being grounded. It's kind of like, it's like these loser B tier characters versus like CIA agent soldiers and stuff like that. So I did like how that was kind of most of the movie, and then we got to the superhuman threat, which they built up to, and then that's kind of when they stood no chance.
Yeah, and they say it like we can't do anything here. We're useless against this type of villain. And they just have to retreat, which they would. Like, to me, I was like, yeah, your team kind of sucks, doesn't it? When they're doing that. So then we come to the.
It sounds like you were watching The Mystery Man.
Almost. I hate that this film is called The Thunderbolts. That this is like not the Thunderbolts at all.
I would say that they had a really big advantage in their favor, in that Harley Quinn was not in this movie. There was no Harley Quinn character, which made the movie like 10 times better. Yeah, it made the movie 10 times better. There's no quirky Harley Quinn, quirky all over the place in this one.
I want to find. I have my comic where I first was introduced to the Thunderbolts, and it was a crossover with Spider-Man, and great comic because no one from the original Thunderbolts lineup is in this movie at all, and the only one that ends up appearing in the lineup at some point is Sentry. Later on, Sentry's introduction was with the New Avengers, not with the Thunderbolts, and they have just ruined the opportunity that they could have used or actually done the Thunderbolts. And what's pissing me off, they do have characters in the MCU that are OG characters of and the most important one, Zemo, is floating around. Hey, Flash! How you going, dude?
Yo.
Hello.
What's up? We're talking about Thunderbolts, and I'm pissed off that they. This is not like it's Thunderbolts in name only. There's nothing. Did you read the original Thunderbolts run?
I didn't read the original run. I read a little bit of it when Red Hulk joined.
Okay. Because I love the opening arc. I thought the concept was fun and interesting, where it's literally a group of real villains. They're not like converted villains to begin with. They're all villains posing as heroes to get access to the defense systems of the governments and stuff and gain their trust. And then halfway through, like half of the team actually do redeem, but they want to become real heroes, and they stop Zemo in his plan. And that's a cool concept. That's fun. They could have done something. Zemo is just floating around doing nothing in the MCU. That's the perfect time to use him. And guess what? Hawkeye becomes the next leader of the Thunderbolts after they defeat Zemo. And the Hawkeye's in the... What is he doing? They've got him in a crappy MCU TV show.
They don't want to pay him.
Yeah, they're not paying him. He quit or something.
For the second season.
Good for him.
Good. I say good for him as well. I reckon they would have, like, if they were going to make him a prominent character in a proper Thunderbolts film, they probably would have paid him what he wanted, because he says he likes the character and he's happy to play him. And so instead of doing anything Thunderbolts at all, they basically say, get stuffed to any of the fans of the Thunderbolts is, like me. I love the Thunderbolts. And we're going to give you a piss poor piece of crap, nothing Thunderbolts thing. And it's a bait and switch to New Avengers. And if you like New Avengers, you'll be pissed off with this movie too, because they're not freaking the New Avengers.
I would say I have the advantage of not seeing anything else around this movie, so I had no idea who Ghost was and stuff. I didn't watch Ant-Man 2. Like, I stopped watching the MCU movies after like Endgame. And then I watched like Marvels, and then Captain Marvel, and then Black Widow.
Who remembers Ghost even if they've seen Ant-Man 2?
I know, right?
I've seen it.
It's
I
like the
don't even
most
remember she
forgettable.
existed.
That's the other baffling thing behind the concept of this film. They're picking all the rejects of the MCU into this film, and they're all forgettable. No one really like. Only one that people potentially like is Bucky, where that has potential. That all right, you
Joe
might
Walker.
I like Walker.
I like U.S.
Walker, yeah.
Agent.
But for the mainstream
Crimson
audience, no one knows.
Crimson-
No one knows who Walker is.
I like Walker being an asshole.
I
I
do.
do like that. I like
You
I like
do.
him
Some
being an
few people
asshole.
do, but most people in the mainstream have
I have
no
his first
idea.
appearance.
Oh,
the
yeah,
anniversary cover of Captain America, when they did the murals.
Isn't the U.S. Agent the one that killed commies and stuff?
U.S.
that
Agent
was
is
Fighting
just an
American.
angry version of Captain America.
Like because they at one point they had Captain America go out and kill commies and stuff, but the readers loved commies, so they're like, oh yeah, that wasn't Captain America, that was some other guy.
So
Was that
Bucky was doing all the assassination behind the scenes for Captain America, and he wasn't aware of it. That's as I understand it. I haven't read those comics.
Well, I thought they had like another character, like he was only Captain America in name only. He was pretending to be Captain America. He's just, I guess, looked like Steve Rogers or something like that, and he was like somebody else. Which one was that? I'm not a Marvel guy, so I just read it. I just heard about this arc.
Oh, I'm going crazy.
You're not a Marvel guy. Were you a DC guy?
DC guy, yeah.
Wow.
I like
that too much for people who came out of the 90s. Well, I don't know how old you are actually. So
Yeah, I was a '90s kid.
and you picked DC over Marvel. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I was more of
Batman,
a Marvel guy, but I like the aesthetic of DC more than Marvel, even though I was a Marvel guy more. Like I found Marvel had better kind of complex characters and stuff, but DC always presented the iconic hero look.
that
better.
icon. I like that. My hero was Superman. Mostly.
Superman was my childhood go-to. Like Superman was the guy for me when I was young, and then I jumped over to Spider-Man when I got a bit older, and I got sucked in big with Spider-Man. My entry point was the Clone Saga with Ben Reilly, and I just got.
That's where I started too.
I got obsessed with him.
Yeah, man, that was the talk of the playground, man.
That's where a lot of people stopped reading.
That was the talk of the playground. Is Ben Reilly the real Spider-Man?
I had the original copy of Death of Superman. Like I had the original, and the following book where he like comes back and his dad goes to this heaven quest or something, and then we got to see the Steel. I don't know. We got to introduce a Steel, Cyborg Superman, and like some mullet Superman. I think that was the actual Superman that came back. But like
I still have my Death of Superman. It's from a pharmacy.
Why'd you not?
So it's the newsstand version.
So before we go too far afield, I guess the point that I was making is that I don't think Falcon and Winter Soldier is when John Walker gets introduced into the MCU, and barely anyone watched it. And so for people who even might be fans of the MCU, most of the characters in the Thunderbolts lineup, they're not going to care about or even know much about. The only one is Bucky, really. And I feel it's so pointless trying to shoehorn all these characters that are the rejects of the MCU, essentially, apart from a couple, right, into this film. When, all right, you've got Zemo, you could introduce new, interesting, dynamic characters, Songbird, Atlas, Mac, I forget what his number is, Mac something, Moonstone. These are the characters of the original Thunderbolts. And those are their false hero names. You could have grabbed like villains and stuff and present them new. And it's just a missed opportunity.
I just pictured Mac from Always Sunny. He's like, okay, just start. There's all these heroes, and then Mac from Always Sunny.
10. It's like Mac 10, Mac, and he could have a good connection, something because he uses technology. It's like he's got this different Iron Man suit with wings that's more jet kind of based, and you could play it into him, having stolen Iron Man tech or something like that.
I never actually
and there was any number of things you could have done, and I just feel it's such a bloody missed opportunity. And now I'm just pissed off as a Thunderbolts fan and a New Avengers fan, and we got this. And it's not the worst thing ever. Flash, what did you think of Thunderbolts as a film?
I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it.
I haven't either. These
I
two
will
at it
eventually.
I liked it overall.
Yeah, Jeremy, like I said, Geeks and
it wasn't Shakespeare. Again, it wasn't Shakespeare. It had some cringe in there.
And there are people that hate it. Like I think Mauler despises this film.
Yeah, he hated it so much he talked about it for 9 hours.
That's it.
When you break down the plot bit by bit, holy crap, do you find so much stupid garbage in this thing on a technical level, but on a surface level, if you're just watching it for character interactions,
I ate my
fun
popcorn.
moments.
Granted, I had like a Jim Beam slush also, which also probably enhanced the.
See, that'll do it. That actually enhances the movies in some cases.
Made it better.
Yeah.
But overall, I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
The first time I saw No Way Home, I enjoyed a blunt before I went into the movie theater, and it definitely enhanced
I think
that movie.
I think
like 20 times over.
Spider-Man and blunts go like peanut butter and jelly, and kind of go together really tightly.
all right, so let's pivot to our next topic, and this one, look, it is controversial. I find it deeply fascinating, interesting what's going on. Also concerning. So, guys, if you've been on Twitter at all lately, I'm assuming, and I know because I talked about this a bit on Flashcast, over on Yellow Flash's channel just this weekend. What is she being called? I think of her as the N-word lady.
I call her the N-word mom.
The N-word mom?
Yeah, because it happened on the playground over a kid. So
yes, it did.
What's that at now?
I think over 600,000 last I checked.
I think she beat the Carmelo one. I think
after you back the N-word lady, back my comic.
Yes. Do you want to tell them about your comic, Yellow Flash?
Yeah, it's over 70K.
Dude, that's awesome.
How many books? It was just over 2,500 last time I saw it. What's it at now?
Let me double check it.
Now say the N-word and you'll get.
I know I should. I'm just gonna drop it right now. You ready?
Half a million.
You know, so many people online have been just clowning about this so much. They're like, I've been saying this for years. Where's my money?
Be a millionaire by now.
I don't even know what the context is. Someone give me the TLDR.
We'll fill you in a sec. But Flash, if you feel free to share your comic, dude.
I'm pulling it up. There it
is.
is.
Have a look.
The mighty Golden Patriot. By gold. A lot of coping and seething over this book. If it was on another platform, it would probably be, I think, at $90,000 right now. So,
well, no, shipping
quite a failure.
Because you have taken off shipping in the results, right? And
yeah, there's no shipping or taxes.
Like this would be 120. Our shipping on the graphic novel me and Mike did had to it took out a chunk of the money, but that was included in the overall thing that was presented. Like shipping can sometimes be, gosh, a huge chunk.
A lot.
Yeah, shipping's a lot of money. Like
and then
it's the dream killer.
There's that. If you were pricing
your comic,
dude,
and the printing.
If you're pricing your book at the price that a lot of independents do, it would be at what, 150K or something like that. Like, because if we did
it's tough to factor that in because we have bundles and stuff.
Yeah,
it would be $3 million Australian.
All right,
if it was $25 a book and Ashcan wasn't 6 and it was 15 and we had taxes and shipping in there, it would be over $100,000.
So that's what I'm easy. So if we do like 25 shipping,
coping and seething,
shipping, right, was at least like $11 wasn't covering shipping when me and Mike had to send out our book.
I want to build a readership, so I want to get this book into as many people.
That's the way to do
as
it.
Possible.
So really, 45 is a more realistic price. $25 for the thing, and then $20 for shipping. That me and Mike were finding that was happening, right? And so that's 45. And then if you want throw in tax or something like that, the average book price, because then there are people who do buy the bundles and the collectors and stuff, a much fairer thing for most campaigns is $50 per person, right? And you have 2,500 something copies. So how many copies sold at the moment? 2,566
books sold.
2,566. That equates to, if this was like a more standardized campaign with a more standard price tag on it that includes shipping in the total, you'd be at $128,000 if this is a standard campaign. And so people get thrown off because they're looking at, but still 70,000, dude, that is awesome in and of itself. I would never be complaining about that. But if it was being rated fairly amongst other ones, this is easily a $128,000 campaign so far in its early days. This is a massive success, and it's going great. And guys, if you haven't gotten it, it's only $17 is the entry point. You get a friggin' great independent comic book supporting independent creators. It's a thing that we talk about heaps on the channel. This is the time where you can throw that support behind something on that deserves your money. And you're going to get a great comic book.
Don't be niggardly.
What is...
Oh my God! I disavow.
That's a legitimate word. What are you talking about?
$1 million.
And I was just about to say, get this man's signed in. Well, I'm signing it, but his cover will be graded here.
That's right.
Hell
Get
yeah.
The movie poster.
Don't be niggardly and get the cheap one.
Hey, Mike, Kim!
I
disavow.
Stop it!
Speak English?
You just demonetized this entire stream.
Yes!
We're gonna get Shad arrested. We're gonna see Shad arrested live by Australian police.
The context. They're gonna the transcript is gonna come up with the gamer word, and it will get used.
Let me pull this up. So
This is not a
since
gamer
Mike's
word.
breaking barriers, let me
I'm
pull up his
using
cover.
Proper Queen's English.
I'm just waiting for the Australian police to come in and arrest Shad just all live on on stream.
I didn't say Niger. I say niggardly. It means.
Oh my
Mike,
God!
Mike,
Quit tripling
Mike,
down on it.
Stop it, Mike! Stop!
I can't speak English anymore without people getting upset.
Well, we've got a discussion about words and everything coming up with the relation with what's the relation to the N-word, mum. That's coming up. But check out, this is the cover for Flash's graphic novel done by Mike.
Signed and graded.
Signed and graded by Mike S. Miller, guys.
No,
Look at
signed
this.
by Flash.
But if you see Mike at a con, you can crack it and
That's
have him
right.
sign it.
Then we can go get a CGC again. There you go.
He goes to San Diego Comic-Con, and they have CGC at those cons. So if you find him, you can have them crack it and sign it, and then get it reslabbed.
It's kind of funny if it goes down.
I love how these look slabbed. I can't wait to because the
Like, oh, they
gold
get
just
signed
pops with
instead-
that yellow.
Gets signed now. It's 9.4 somehow. Like, oh,
Oh yeah, because he puts his pen through it by accident.
like, oh, it's not as good anymore. So that's pristine.
Well, Flash signs it with a knife, so that's the kind of damages the cover a little bit.
I have to figure out how I'm gonna sign these, like my yellow Flash signature. I have to figure that out.
I had to practice mine a couple of times, and I shortened it as well just to get it something nice, snappy, just stuff. So, and I even tested out different pens that wouldn't bleed too much on the page and stuff.
Yeah, get the right color.
Oh, black is fine, I think. But not only could anyone get this, they could also get the prequel story written by LitDev.
That's right.
Side story.
Like the panel Night's Watch is doing this cool collaboration with Yellow Flash. Look at the hosts being part of it, guys. So support everyone by grabbing a copy today. It is available, and it is looking awesome, dude. And congrats on the success. This is
Thank you.
what we want to see. What
Thank
we
you.
want to see.
When's your
All
next
right.
book coming out?
Dad, did you read Wyoming Homesteaders chat?
No, I missed it.
Say it loud.
So our next one, to answer Yellow Flash's question, we're waiting on coloring. Coloring is like this just bottleneck. Our first colorist completely ended up ghosting us.
It's all about that color.
Time. And like it's all drawn. Mike has drawn volume 2. It's like 128 pages. It
Mike,
looks
you can't
friggin'
color?
Great.
I can color, but I don't have. I don't know.
See, this is what I like about working with Dillard. He just did the whole thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he colored and drew.
Who
it, so.
colored this cover?
Marcos Martin. I forget how to say his name.
Maybe we'll reach out to him, Mike.
Yeah.
we
Tag
need
him, tag him in, man.
we need to get some more people onto it because
Yeah.
the next one is friggin' awesome. Volume 2. It's rock and roll. It gets into some serious action and plot.
It's 125 pages.
125 pages. This is going to be a beastie thing. And so, look, we're still working on it while we can with those frustrating delays. And I'm also working on my next novel. That's progressing pretty darn fun, pretty good so far. And I have some creative plans that I'm doing with this thing. There's going to be some interesting stuff with the release of my next novel. And so we're all pushing forward, making stuff. Yellow Flash got his now. So support that, everyone. And now let's do a bit of a segue, talking about something that Mike was really intent in saying a lot.
A resident N-word enthusiast.
N-word. My goodness.
This transcript and AI analysis stuff isn't going to understand the context.
It's got the N-word in it, but
yeah.
It's got the N-word in it.
Mm. It's like the fact that the F word is in the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit. It's said multiple times. It means a bundle of sticks. And so Tolkien, being a man of language and
culture,
he referred to bundles of sticks quite a bit. Yeah.
It's just English, Shad. Say faggot.
It was it was really funny when we read The Hobbit in class, and that word came up. It was hilarious. It's a great day.
Did you know that one of the early like parts of Halloween was they would run around and throw faggots in the fire?
Like bundles of sticks, you mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah. What else would I mean?
No, we're talking about in the Middle East.
Not cigarettes.
No, cigarettes are just fags.
All right.
But if you have a bunch of them, wouldn't they be faggots?
No, a faggot is a bundle of sticks, which ironically also is the same root word as fascist. You know how the symbol of fascism is a bundle of sticks?
I think you can say that word now.
It's literally the same word. Faggots and fascists.
So I think you can say that word now.
This whole thing, right? First, let's give Mike the background of
what's retarded all the time, Shad.
I do. Retarded isn't a
bad justified word, okay?
Yes. On the internet. Right. So there's a larger discussion about offensive words and the power that people give certain words, and it's all a social construct and everything. I want to talk about that. Let's reel it back and give some context to those who do not know what's been going on if you've been not on the internet at all lately, Mike. So there was a woman with her 2 children on a playground, and another child, and I have heard different accounts that this other child, it was a black-skinned child, and I've heard that he had autism or not. I don't know the further context of that, but this child stole something from her baby bag or the bag itself, right? Stole something.
Is he roboting for anyone? But
am I roboting?
I don't hear him roboting.
It's just for Mike.
Me then.
And so she called the child the N-word, and there is a man filming it. This man who's filming it is an alleged sex offender.
He was alone at a playground with a recording device,
and he's at a playground recording stuff. It's like, what else the hell is going on here? Like,
wait, was this woman Chinese?
No, she's
no.
She's
that was
white.
A different inward lady.
In fact,
that's a different video.
People are calling her. Is that the? Oh, no, I won't go down that one. She calls the child the N-word. It gets posted online, and in the video, the guy's like, "You called him, this word," and then she kind of doubles down the video. It's like, "Yeah, I did," and she even says that's because that's what he is, right? And that has gone online, gone crazy viral, and people in response to it they want her dead. They're like, it's gone insane, and threats to her life has been spitting around online everywhere. And I'm not saying what she did isn't offensive. Of course it's friggin' offensive, okay? But is it worthy of her life being destroyed? Like, of course friggin' not. It's a bloody word.
Unless you stab somebody.
It's not like she stabbed someone
to death.
To death, okay? And that's the
not
comparison.
Like that kid doesn't hear that word all the time.
Well, actually,
from family members.
From family members, yeah.
There's that as well. There's a video that I want us to kind of react to, and it's Matt Walsh talking about this stuff because there are points worthy of discussing all around this. So the amount of, I guess, backlash against her is crazy. And it's as extreme as if she stabbed someone. And that's like, well, reel it back. Holy crap. People get in heated confrontations many times and say bad things in the heat of the moment when like conflict is happening. I think that's happened to everyone. Okay. And because someone says this word, right, doesn't mean they actually think that certain races are inferior to other races, which is what actual racism is. But barely anyone dare using the word, right? That makes you the worst thing in the world, worthy of your life being ruined. And so she launched a GoFundMe, or it's not GoFundMe. It's like, what is this
Gives
on?
Gives and Go.
Saying that people have doxed her, threats to her life. She's probably going to have to deal with legal, bills and other things like that. So if you want to support me get through this hard time, you could support. And that Gives and Go. It's like people were shocked when it passed 100,000, then 400,000, then holy crap, 500,000, and now it's like at 600,000.
Yeah, because everyone's comparing it to like, okay, if Carmelo can get, he's justice for Carmelo. Oh, poor kid, he killed somebody. Now he has to endure all that. And then they kind of threw out the father, doxed the father, swatted the father of the murdered kid, and everything.
The Carmelo Anthony stuff is vile, the things that have been going around and things people have been saying about like unironically, people have been donating to the Carmelo Anthony, fund, whatever, and leaving comments that say to the effect, I'm paraphrasing, but multiple comments are saying something like, I'm glad a white person got killed. I'm donating because I want to see more white people get killed. You did nothing right. Stuff. It's
like pretty evil.
Truly evil, full-blown racist stuff, right?
So that's why people have taken that and like, you know what? All she did was say, that's it. She didn't kill anybody. So how come he gets full $500,000 almost for murdering somebody? And then she has to get her life ruined because she just said a word. That's it. So I think that's why people were rallying around her this much, because they want to prove a point that, okay, you're going to beat your tally. You killed a person and you get $400,000. That's not right.
Well, people are comparing it like a competition now between,
it's like
between
a race.
the two. And I don't think you have to apply, I don't think you have to have a stick in any of the fights to look at this.
Which is worse?
Really,
saying the N-word or stabbing a kid in the heart?
Exactly. Like one of these situations is a far more cut and dry evil thing than another. Right? And if you are crying outrage over one and you have not even said boo about the other, you are a hypocrite of the highest friggin' order, and potentially a racist as well, because this is becoming, unfortunately, a race thing. I massively so. It's exposing some shocking racism. And look, on both sides, like I've seen some horror, like just truly vile stuff said about black people in response to her GoFundMe. And having said that, I think I've seen worse things said on the Carmelo Anthony stuff about white people.
Is it like celebrating death and everything? Celebrating genocide stuff.
What are you sharing there, Lit Dev?
Here's my thought I had this morning. I thought it was a new comic book idea. Fantastic slurs and where to find them. No Phil idea I'm working on.
Man, Yellow Flash, where you shared that video of that guy saying, "You think you can come in here and win in 60?" Like, because that video was funny.
Hold on, let me see if I've got it.
You still got it.
I also had the idea this morning that what if Light Yagami way to one of his enemies went to Chicago, and then instead of saying die by heart attack in the Death Note, he goes says the N-word, and then he just dies by murder because he just says the N-word in Chicago. I think it'll be effective death.
Yeah, like these things are nowhere near equivalent in their offense. Like someone said a word, someone killed someone. Those are not equivalent. Anyone trying to associate those are the same thing. And the amount of consequences that one deserves for another, definitely not equivalent either. And on top of that, the outrage over someone saying a word this word in particular has reached levels of insanity that is bonkers to me. It is a word. It is only offensive as you perceive it to be. It is not her physically assaulting you or murdering anyone or doing anything. I literally goes back to sticks and stones can break my bones, but names will never hurt me. But now words of violence, and so this is worthy of death. Like the amount of power people have given this word is actually insane. It's bonkers to me. And then there's this weird double standard on that word as well, where one group of people are perfectly allowed to, they have the pass, the N-word pass, but everyone else, no.
You
and
say
there's like,
die.
I mean, if
Hey,
it's
you want
either,
to hear something funny, kind of related to
permissible.
this? You guys know I'm an Ainu, right? My mom's mother was one of the indigenous people of Japan.
Yeah.
I don't know if
You
y'all know
mentioned
that, right? You know what their name is also?
No.
Niga.
I do have some sort of inward.
Yeah, Niga, Niga.
Yep.
So you
So
monetized.
I'm not. I'm not sure.
It's
if you found
true though.
It's
True.
Damn it. I'm looking for it, but I found this one while I'm looking for it.
Oh, yeah. So let me remove that.
That's not it.
What an idiot. Going to work.
Now, of course, the reality is that this is like the perfect storm. The fact that it happened now, if this happened like 5 years ago, her life would be destroyed. The cancel mob would have destroyed her life completely.
But now everyone's fed up with this stuff. Like
everyone is fed up. Everyone
end.
is actually fed up. This is actually what Matt Walsh mentions, and I think it's worth listening and commenting on what he says here.
It is, in the end, a net positive that this woman has raised $500,000.
I'm not sure about that. We'll see.
I hope she raises $1 million.
Because I'm seeing like this actually embolden real racists on both sides. People saying horrifyingly, blanketly racist things about all black people, and people saying blanketly racist, horrible things about white people. I'm worried that this might embolden some of the worst people in society to be more outspoken and then stoke it. But Matt Walsh continues to say what he thinks.
I will not be joining with some of my conservative friends in wagging my finger at her donors, and I'll explain why. First of all, she does have a legitimate need for the money. The mob is truly trying to get her killed.
So this is actually true. Like the videos
that she has a legitimate the need for the word. Okay, first of all.
But no, I've seen like heaps of TikTok clips of people, and look, most of them are black people saying like this, they want to kill this woman deserves to die, or something, the most extreme stuff about this woman. Okay, so she is in danger. That is true. She is legitimately in danger for saying a word. Okay,
she gets some bodyguards now.
Now she could afford it.
I don't believe that a woman should have her life threatened for saying a word, even a bad one. And you can say freedom of speech, but not freedom from consequences for your speech all you want. But if losing your livelihood and having your house burned down is a consequence of your speech, then you do not have free speech. So
did she have her house burned down?
No, but I'm saying in the extreme that this might happen, that this could happen if you say a word. That's not free speech. Like if the supposed consequences are your life being ruined for saying a word, that is not free speech. And I agree with him. Free speech, should be able to say things freely.
Supporting free speech means supporting someone's ability to speak without having their family murdered for it. Okay, I mean that should be pretty obvious.
I agree.
This is like a Jesus adulterous woman moment. It's like
he
who has never said the N word cast the first stone.
And everyone's like, oh, well, I guess I can't throw the stone.
Well, this thing, once upon a time, you could say, like, it's gone so crazy, you can't even say it academically, just to describe what the word is. It's like, so, you can't say the N word, and someone said, who's never heard, what's the N word? Well, You just can't say it.
You know
you
what
tell
is.
me what the N word is? It's like, no, I can't say it. But then I don't know what it is. But if you know, there was a clip, I think it was on CNN or something like that, where someone in an interview said, so and so said, and then he drops the N word, right?
Yeah, I was going to say it by the end of the stream. On accident.
The host freaks out. That's like, I can't believe someone said that word on my show, and she totally loses the plot. And he was just describing it. He was just describing it. And it's to a point where you can't even talk about it academically. Now, I don't swear, but sometimes for academic purposes, to describe a word, I will say it, not because I say that word or anything like that. I'm trying to offend anyone. I'm trying to explain what a word is. Okay.
You sing along with your favorite rap song or something? It's like a...
Bro, I used to sing along to every NWA song out there. Ice Cube,
especially the NWA.
80s, 90s. Nobody cared about this.
It's just
stuff.
like
Obama
in Office
ruined
Space, you know.
everything.
In Office Space, you do it until somebody walks by, and then you turn the music down and just
just
mumble it.
He turns the music down. Was that Michael Bolton? Like,
yeah.
Office Space was a genius movie.
You just call me Mike. I can't find it, man. I've looked everywhere.
That's all right. That's all right.
Why should I change my name? He's the one that sucks.
Well, Matt, he continues to kind of mention some of the things that we talked about.
Second, more importantly, and you know, this is the part that I really need everyone to stop and think about. This is the most devastating attack on cancel culture that we have seen, possibly ever.
This is an interesting point. This is why I think some people are actually supporting it, not because they think it's okay to say the N word to people or anything like, or to a child or anything like that, but to say, get stuffed for trying to ruin someone's life for saying a word. If you're going to try and...
The media is like, okay, this woman needs to be destroyed for saying the slur. Meanwhile, they're coddling and worshiping at the altar of Carmelo Anthony, who stabbed a kid. It's like,
yes, exactly.
That's why this is happening. That's why it's not fair. It doesn't seem fair to me. It doesn't seem fair to me.
So people supporting it are basically saying F you to all those people who have not properly called out Carmelo Anthony, what happened there, right? Who have thrown their support behind him. He's raised several $100,000, like $400,000 or something. Okay. And also to say F you to cancel culture, that people's lives don't deserve to be destroyed for saying a friggin' word that is laced with all this double standard, hypocritical nonsense. Okay.
To make things worse, they kind of, the father kind of said, I forgive Carmelo. And then the father goes to the meeting and they kick him out and said, oh, that's inappropriate. What a jerk that guy is for attending this space. I was like, what? Your son killed his son. You should be begging him for forgiveness, not kicking him out and insulting him and doxing him and swatting him.
Mm-hmm. And
but then look how he acted kind of cuckish.
Oh yeah, like don't forgive anybody who doesn't ask for forgiveness. Okay, just that's like suicidal empathy. But he shouldn't have been treated like that. And
he shouldn't have been treated like that. I think, like, I don't know if he's a Christian or not, but I think he's trying to act as, you know, Christ-like as possible, and you know, and he's trying to like respond in the best way.
Someone
possible.
Killed my kid, I'd be like that guy at the airport.
Oh, dude,
with that guy just
he's got the gun and he just walks past.
Well,
and he
why does reconciliation, like, how does reconciliation work? It's like you confess because you're sorry and you have to do penance. Right? You don't get forgiveness for nothing. Okay, you have to be sorry. You have to do something in return. You have to say
it's a transaction.
Yeah, you have to earn your
forgiveness. Forgiveness has to be requested and wanted and accepted. So someone has to give it, someone has to take it.
You can dismiss the hate in your heart because hate is poison and it will corrupt you and it's not worth carrying around.
Right.
But forgiveness should be earned. Like forgiveness.
Well, what's the point of forgiveness? The point of forgiveness is reconciliation, like you're saying, right?
Yeah,
so it's like
try to rebuild.
Right. And you can't, if one person won't own up to what they did, it's like nearly impossible for that elephant to never not be in the room.
That's why
always like right there. It's like, no, we're friends. It's like, but here's this horrible thing you did that you won't own up to right in front of our faces.
That's why he felt so cuckish, because he just instantly forgave that guy for killing his son, and they weren't even close to being sorry. They didn't feel bad for it at all. They're like, get out of here. you're ruining the moment. Like, get out of here. You're this inappropriate person whose dad, the dad of the father, the dad of the son that we killed. That's inappropriate. Get out of here. So that's, they didn't even want forgiveness. Not even sorry.
There seems to be like a sense of a lot of people being fed up with the anti-white racism that is being spread around. And seriously, some of those comments under that Anthony Carmelo thing, insanely racist to white people, crazy. And people are fed up with it. The unfortunate thing is a lot of people I've seen comments of people reacting to it with racism back. That if you're going to be racist against me, I'm going to be racist back. And it's making things escalate. And I don't think everyone's doing it. I think some people are just, supporting the woman saying, just F you to cancel culture. I'm sick of this crap. And you should stop being racist to white people. But then there are actual racists who are saying some really bad stuff. Let's see what Matt goes on to say.
Shiloh Hendricks has, without really trying, effectively ended cancel culture, as Mark Dice said in his video.
I'm not sure it's ended. I'm not sure it's ended cancel culture, but it's a big slap in the face saying we're fed up with it.
Definitely dying. I guess it's definitely lessened since 2016. In 2016, this lady's life would be ruined in 2016.
But I think people are still going to, you're a Republican, or you don't support trans this or that. You're a terrible person, and I'll never have anything to do with you. That's still happening. It's still happening recently, even. The insane woke left, right, who are just full-blown activists, they're as extreme as they were before, and they will still try to ruin people's lives. What it seems like is that other people are fighting back and pushing back, saying, get stuffed, we've had enough of this. In terms of, I guess, in mainstream, employment and things, I think they might be far more cautious to fire people based on tweets and stuff, like what happened to Gina Carano, than they were in the past. But I'm not sure that other people still won't lose their jobs, or the disassociation won't continue on. Yeah, I think, and I don't think we're there yet. In there,
it's getting there. It's getting
storming here, so I might lose power.
We made significant progress.
Kind of. See, yeah, I'm like, yeah. Well,
video about the incident. Shiloh is the final boss of cancel culture, or maybe rather the final boss that cancel culture has to fight. And I think that's right.
So I don't know. She's beat cancel culture 100%. She is totally just destroyed cancel culture in the attempt at people trying to cancel her. But I'm not sure cancel culture is done with. Not even.
No, definitely not. But it is. But the thing is, it does show us that people are aware of it. Like, it's mainstream now. People are just openly against cancel culture, because Americans just generally hate this. And you see more and more videos every day of people kind of coming to terms with the fact that the left has gone too insane. And you see videos of people going like, "Hey, I figured out that when I voted for Hillary Clinton and I worked in the office full of Republicans, they didn't care. They worked with me. But I just had a minor disagreement with an office full of Democrats, and man, they wanted me dead." And so it's like a lot more people are coming to terms with this fact that the left side is so extreme that any disagreement at all, you're done. They will have nothing to do with you.
But what's concerning about that is that the reason why a lot of people are waking up to it is because that side has become so extreme and so emboldened and so large and loud to be noticed that people are finally seeing it for what it is. But it's because they're so powerful and grown so big and gained so much influence in politics and the culture. And they're still there. I'm not seeing all those extremists reeling it back saying, yeah, we shouldn't wish for white people to die, or not supporting someone who murdered someone else. Like, there's a lot of support for that. Look at his GoFundMe or whatever crowdfund thing is. I'm seeing more polarization happening. And the sides being defined more, and so that is a concern. I'm don't know where this will end up going. Matt Walsh has some more to say. He did a whole video, but I think that there are things worthy commenting on.
That tried unsuccessfully to cancel Shiloh Hendricks was far more outraged over Shiloh saying the N-word than they were over Carmelo Anthony stabbing somebody to death. Indeed.
Yeah, and
True.
we pointed that out. Very true. It's like the hypocrisy and double standard is a bit scary, honestly, that they'll be more offended at someone saying the N-word than
so openly hypocritical about it
than a black teenager murdering a white teenager. Like,
but that is the scary part. The media was so openly hypocritical about the situation. That, poor Carmelo. Meanwhile, this lady needs to die because she said a slur.
Yeah, and they're both wrong, but there's a scale. And also, if you're being silent on one and either supporting or speaking out, whatever against another, it's like that is exposing something worrying. Yeah.
Many of them actively supported Carmelo Anthony murdering Austin Metcalf. They rewarded him financially for it. Mm-hmm. And this is all part of the preposterous racial double standard that has defined American culture for generations now. It is
am I like, I know I'm not weird for thinking this, but for activists and stuff who don't follow this simple standard, it's baffling to me. Where it's like, I thought like racism was preferencing or treating someone different because of the difference of the color of their skin or their race, right? Isn't that what racism means? Actually,
not anymore. Not anymore. Now it's
can't
just
be
about
racist
power.
to white people.
Yeah,
only the race who's in power can be racist.
Yeah,
against
according to their philosophy,
people out of power.
They have warped and twisted to the point now where you have to treat people differently according to the color of their skin, or you're racist. They've flipped it on its head.
It's completely the opposite of what it used to be.
It's the opposite of what it used. Like they literally say that you have to be race conscious. Treat someone different by their race. Treat them differently based on the color of their skin because they deserve X, Y, Z, or whatever, right?
Like we'll never have another Rush Hour movie, right? With that scene with Jackie Chan going in there.
What's up, my? What did you say? And like, what's up?
Hell, you say, motherfucker?
That's bad for you.
No, that's bad for you.
That's bad for you.
Man, no one understands the words come out of your mouth. I'm first world handsome. You're third world ugly. Get out of here. Those are good movies. Those are fantastic movies.
I love
orthopedics in the chat. Obama started this. 100%.
Did you see a video with
he ruined everything.
If I had a son, I would imagine he'd be something like Trayvon.
What's his name?
No joke.
Like, he'd be running around trying to kill people in the middle of the night.
You see that Morgan Freeman video where he's like, Morgan Freeman was like, we ain't never had a black president. Obama's mom, he had a black father, but his mom was white. And Morgan Freeman's like, he ain't a little black president.
What? No. Like I heard Obama give a story of like this horrible racism he experienced in the past, where he entered an elevator where there was an old lady in the elevator with him, and as soon as he entered, she started to seem like she was nervous, and she got off early from the elevator and left. And he's like, and he basically says, "This was Obama. This is a story Obama shared that I heard years ago."
Grew up in freaking Hawaii, dude. There's no.
This is his story, right? And when I heard that, I was like, "You're a teenager, and it's a vulnerable old lady. I think she'd feel nervous with any teenager getting in the elevator." But he tried to reframe it completely as a racial thing, and she was a racist for feeling a bit nervous, and that was an assumption on his behalf as well. And it's like, this is where it all began, where everything. If you disagree with a black person, you're racist. Like, hang on, can't you just disagree with people, right? And it goes to like so many. Do you remember who was it when she's a black tennis player, and I forget her name.
Serena Williams.
Serena.
Yeah, she lost the plot or did something, right? And everyone was criticizing her. Oh, it was the judge in the tennis match that judged something against her, and she loses the plot, and then she starts to claim that is racist for making this call or judgment that is because she's black that happened. And it was just like, what the hell? What is going on? Where so many people found that there is social capital to be gained by playing the race card.
Ball.
So in Obama's story, did he also mention that he was with his boyfriend and was covered in cocaine?
I don't know. I don't think he mentioned that, Mike. And look, it was years ago. But no, like Obama started to racialize so many things. And yeah, it did absolutely start with.
What about that Michelle Obama interview? She was like, as a black man.
Now, I know it's funny. That was clipped because she was talking to a black man, and she was proposing a question. As a black man, what do you think? She was asking that.
Okay, but you can't clip the several times that Obama called Michelle Mike.
Michael Obama.
Michael and I.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not saying there aren't like question marks
George. Okay,
hanging in the air. Like, you first hear it and you think it's a complete conspiracy, and then you see video compilations of
swinging chads
of things, and I don't know. Oh, that's
pretty sure there's a penis under that dress.
All I can say is I don't know, but I've seen the evidence, and it's just like
she has a penis.
I don't know.
I love conspiracy theories. They're fantastic.
Michael and I are just enjoying some time at the beach.
That's a man, baby.
All right.
I
mean, Michelle.
Michael.
He didn't even correct himself in one of them. He's just like so used to calling him Michael. Yeah, Big Mike. Let's go.
That declares it a greater crime for a white person to say a word than for a black person to kill a white person. In fact, killing a white person could even be a just punishment for saying that word, according to these standards.
People have been celebrating that death, the white guy's death, and they're like, more white people need to be treated that way. And I feel like the extremism is scary and crazy, and people have been calling for her death. They're like, if I see you, and actual evil stuff happening.
The rules surrounding this word, the moral weight granted to it, the arbitrary guidelines drawn around it.
Yes.
It's all nonsense.
All right. That's a point that I want to discuss, because this is baffling to me, because it is a social construct. Okay. This word is only offensive because people have been conditioned to see it as offensive. That's it. That is it. I find it because baffling. I've studied the origin of swearing, okay, from an English perspective, where it comes from, and it comes from the medieval period. And currently, the three words that describe this are synonymous, and it's swearing, profanity, and cursing. You cursed, you said a profanity, or you swore. We use them synonymously, but each one of those things has a distinct origin, separate origin and meaning originally. So if you go back to Old English, actually, this is even past all. This is like, we're looking at like 13th century, 14th century English, right? A lot of words that we consider bad now was just common language. Have you guys seen some of the old English street names?
Yeah, I've seen some of those.
So, and ironically, there's like on the books street names with SHIT Lane, the C word, Grope C word Lane is an actual street name, right? And these more, I guess, crass or crude words were not considered like swearing or profanity or curse words or anything. Not super offensive, still crude, right? But people would use them in modern language. The F word doesn't have as much medieval origin in the old English language in history.
I thought like that they would put it was like on the stocks it would put for unlawful carnal knowledge.
Fornicate under command of the king.
I'll talk about what they actually found offensive and where this stuff comes from. And in context, it exposes that what's actually offensive about this word when said out of context. It's bonkers to me, okay? But you know what? The word they used that meant the F word in the medieval period was sard. S-A-R-D meant what the F word means. So to sard something, you are effing something. That's actually the medieval word. I'm using it in my new book, by the way, because I'm using the medieval, because it's a medieval fantasy setting, and so I'm using the medieval standard of swearing and what it was. And so a swear word, right? Well, there wasn't specific words. It was if you swore an oath in vain. So in the medieval period, right, bearing witness was really important. This was how their judicial proceeding functioned, but based on individuals swearing and bearing witness of crimes. The classic English common law is founded on being judged by a jury of your peers and witness testimony. That's how it functioned. And so bearing false witness was super serious in the medieval period. And if you did it wrong, right, that was like a negative indictment on your character to an extreme level if you were caught out bearing false witness or swearing in vain. Bearing false witness means to swear in vain, to lie openly and outwardly. And then if you made an oath with it, like if you said, I swear on God's name, I swear like that was serious business. And if you ever did it falsely, you swore falsely, and you were a scumbag for it and judged accordingly. People, because one of the most offensive accusations or things you could call someone was like a thief or a whore. If you called someone a thief or a whore in the medieval period, that's like what the equivalent of the N word. No, because remember how important bearing witness was in the medieval period. So when you called someone a thief, you're bearing witness of a crime that they have committed.
Their honor.
Exactly. And that had actual legal weight. And so if you were a person in the medieval period and you were called a thief and you weren't, you would be friggin' outraged. You'd be like, what the hell did you say to me? Kind of thing. Right. And that's why one of the most offensive things to call a woman was a whore. That was like
smirching your honor.
Yeah. Now think about the context, right? Calling someone these names is actually
today it's a badge of honor.
The whore, yeah. They make
sad?
billions of dollars too.
They make billions of dollars.
You have sex with 4,000 guys
in space.
You're a queen.
Oh my gosh, what have we become as a society, man?
Didn't one of them need like reconstruction on their butthole?
No, but I want people to kind of contextualize the justification to being offended by these words. In the medieval period, there is huge justification to being offended of a false accusation. If you are called a whore and you're not, if you're called a thief and you're not, you have full right to be justified, okay? Because it actually means something. Whereas in the modern day, when you're called a slur or something like that, it's not an actual accusation. It doesn't mean anything. It's only offensive because people are conditioned to find it offensive. Okay? Like when I call someone a retard, everyone knows they're not really mentally disabled. Is that kind of fair to say? Like there's no true accusation in that?
Is it though? Because I run into a lot of them on X.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Right. But what I'm pointing out is that the standard of finding something offensive in the past actually had justification, right? It's why swearing was bad. And this goes the same with what was considered profane. To speak a profanity was a different and distinct thing than swearing. They were two separate things, both equally offensive. What does it mean to say something profane? To treat something that is sacred and holy in a disrespectful manner. That is what profanity is. And so taking the Lord's name in vain is a profanity. Because you are speaking profane. You could also act profane if you disrespected the cross or treated it in an unrespectful way and everything. You are acting very profane. You're also being sacrilegious, right? And so swearing an oath, bad. Taking the Lord's name in vain, okay, speaking the name of Jesus Christ in any negative way is technically a profanity, not a swear word, because you're being profane. And why would people find that offensive? Because these are sacred things that they hold very dear on a religious level, right? When you hear someone's name whom you love and is the most important being in your life, Jesus Christ, the Savior, right? You believe he has saved your soul, redeemed the sins of mankind. You kind of hold that name in reverence and respect. And therefore, when you hear something that you find truly sacred and special, that name spoken of in not only a casual way, like a way to offend people, dismissive, like you're saying it in response to something shocking or when you hurt yourself, saying that name, people naturally found it offensive. And that's why profanity was offensive in the medieval period. And so now we come to the third meaning, condition of what people actually, and again, when we look at it, there's more justification to find that offensive than a word said out of context that doesn't mean spit, okay? Like they actually had justification to find these things offensive in the past, where now it's offensive because we're telling you it's offensive. Oh, these group of people, they can say it. That's not offensive when they say it. And they can say it in the most malicious ways possible. It's not offensive when they say it. But if other group of people say it.
Now I'm curious to see how Hassan would be like, oh yeah, she totally deserves to die for saying a slur. And then also why the Carmelo's victim deserved to die for some reason, and why what he did was okay. I want to hear that mental gymnastics from a guy who's has the mental capacity equivalent of a doughy couch potato. I want to see how that happens.
Well, I'll finish the final kind of condition of swearing in the past, cursing. Can you guys? This one is probably a bit more intuitive. Can you guess why cursing? What would have been considered cursing in the medieval context, and why people would find it offensive?
Witchcraft.
Like
witchcraft.
This is in a time when people actually believed you could curse someone by pronouncing ill will on someone, that I wish something bad would happen to you. That is placing a curse upon someone. Okay? Get stuffed. I hope you fall in a river. These are what the historical context of cursing was. And
I hope you get everything you deserve.
That's a curse.
Break a leg.
You are pronouncing a curse on someone. You are actively wishing ill will to happen to someone. I hope horrible thing happens to you. You are cursing them. And guess what? People have a bit of right to find that offensive. You want me to die? Yeah, I think I could be offended about that, right?
That's not gentlemanly.
That's a very mean.
Well, you did say black in Spanish.
Okay. Therefore, you need to die.
Negro hair.
And so, again, it has justification for being an actual offensive thing to say to someone. And in the modern day, it's just society is telling you this word is bad. And it actually ultimately means nothing. Okay. Like, and I'm not saying there aren't certain racial undertones and everything if you call someone, certain slurs and stuff. Okay. But again, it's far more conditioned than someone actively wishing you to die. Okay. Like, I think that one is a bit more aggressive, wouldn't you say? Now, the curse word that has existed from the medieval period to the modern day is the worst curse you could pronounce upon someone, because far worse than wishing someone to die or to fall in a river or to go through pain, in a medieval context, more religious concept, the worst curse you could give to someone is for them to be damned to hell. That is far worse of a wishing of ill will upon someone than wishing someone to stub their toe or anything like that. And so the worst curse you could place upon someone
you to hell
is to damn them to hell, to say, damn you, damn it, right? The word damn and damn it actually is one of the few OG offensive words it's not offensive now, but it still exists in the modern day now, right? That was the OG curse word. That was it. And those are the distinctions between swearing, profanity, and cursing. It's all synonymous now. But in the past, they were distinct and individually offensive based on the actual context at play. Actually, truly offensive things that you could do to someone else. And it's like, it makes me feel like people in the past had more brains, because it's like they're getting offended for actually offensive things. Like, right? That's their condition. Where now, It's like arbitrary word that is, you should be offended by this, even though you don't know what it means or the context behind it. You should be offended by it because I'm telling you, you should be offended by it, and by the way, you should be your life destroyed because of it. Like it goes to crazy levels. Now, sorry, I wanted to get that off my chest. I wanted to rant about this because this equivalence, and double standard, right? To the modern day, when you compare what actual offense is, it seems so artificial, conditioned. Like I find it so odd that like black people call other black people the N-word all the time, and it's perfectly fine. And what's why are you getting offended if a white person then says it? What is it? I like, can someone fill me in? Because you're not in a club. Like PewDiePie said it, right? I don't think PewDiePie thinks black people are inferior to white people. I don't think he is a racist. Okay, so what was he meaning?
A gamer word. It was
a gamer word. What? Yeah. That's what I want to break down. Like, what was he meaning when he said the word? Was he accusing someone of being a thief or a whore? Was he wishing ill will upon someone that they would die or be damned to eternal damnation? Was he saying something truly sacred and religious and doing it in a profane way? Like, he didn't qualify for any of the original standards of offense that gave
the built into that word, dude.
It's just people are saying it's bad because it's bad. Like what like let's try and figure out what PewDiePie was actually expressing when he said what an effing N-word to the person that beat him in a round in a video game. It's like if I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking like that guy sucks because he beat me. Yeah, that's like if we needed to translate what he was conveying when he
did you ever see the little South Park bit about the F word and the gay word, the difference between a fag?
Oh, you mean like the motorcycle guys?
Yeah, they gave it to the
that's so good,
to the holy race.
But chat, I think, is pointed out it was an angry outburst. It wasn't even directed at anyone. It seemed like, yeah, like people can say things in anger with no actual malicious intent behind it because they're frustrated. That's not offensive. Everyone does that. And that he said a word that's taboo in that outburst is like, it wasn't directed at a black person. Like it was just, but people tried to cancel him. PewDiePie was called a Nazi for spitting that word by accident.
That's why he moved to Japan, so he could just say that word anytime he wanted to.
Asians are picking up that word more and more these days. They really are.
Not only did he move to Japan, he renounced his Swedish citizenship. So he's just full-blown Japanese now.
Oh my gosh. So thank you, Matt Walsh, for triggering my OCD and sending me off on a full-blown rant. I think that's he has this is a clip from his video. There's more we could comment on, but we don't need to dwell too much on it. I said most of what I wanted to kind of say on this whole really weird situation. It's we are living in some strange times these days. It's crazy. Do you guys have any other thoughts on that topic? Final kind of comments?
It's going to be making a comeback.
You reckon?
Yeah, the N-word.
The N-word?
Possibly.
Don't call it a comeback.
There's going to be a podcast.
It's been here for years.
There's going to be a podcast.
The N-word podcast.
You know what my favorite Batman villain is, speaking of?
No, what?
Edward Nygma. The Riddler.
Yeah.
My favorite Batman villain.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nygma, please.
A true Nygma male.
You see that video with the you see that video with the little person, the dwarf guy, when someone was trying to explain to him that saying midget was like saying the N-word for little people?
Oh, that was funny.
And it's like, midget, please. It's just like... oh,
hard T and everything.
That one was funny.
Hard D.
So James Sapp for $5 says, Shad, did you know 80 years ago today, German and US troops fought side by side in a medieval castle to protect French prisoners from the SS? I did not know that. I need to look that up. That sounds wicked because of castles. But I mean, German and US troops. Yeah, like just the whole concept of war, I find like discussing, especially for the common soldier. Most common soldiers, they don't have any beef against the other boys they're fighting, right? And the World War I Christmas really encapsulates that, where the two sides in the trenches come together on Christmas Day, and they get along fine. And what I find the most like vile, evil thing is that there's just these stupid, retarded politicians, for oftentimes meaningless, retarded friggin' reasons, send their young men to just butcher each other.
Oh, that's funny you bring that up. I was just listening to, I was really curious about like other people's perspectives on wars and stuff. So I was listening to a whole lecture on the British perspective of the American Revolution. And it was funny because like nobody wanted to be in this war, but King George wouldn't end it. He's just like, no, I'm not going to lose America. It's like, and like everybody, like the government, the people, they're all like,
that would be embarrassing to have on his record. Like, oh, he's the king that lost all the colonies.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I find it disgusting that rulers, leaders, sometimes for the most immature reason, I got offended by something, will just send hundreds of thousands to millions of their own people into a meat grinder. And they don't even have actual beef. Like, now, I'm not saying there aren't wars where both sides, even a lot of the common soldiers, have like grievances that they perceive against the others, or ingrained bigotries, like, you know, the 30-Year War. It's one of those, like, it's a mess. What?
Blacks is trending on X.
Oh, that's what I'm concerned.
Oh, no.
I'm concerned this is emboldening people and furthering racial division, by people just feeling more emboldened by it.
What happens if Elon Musk does, like, to get more revenue on X, does allow you to purchase the N-word pass?
Oh,
I think you're allowed to use the N-word on X, aren't you?
I don't know. It's like the same with the F word. I've used it a bunch of times. I've used the F word a bunch of times on X, and I never get in any trouble. But I've seen some people use it and get like deboosted and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, really?
So I don't know, man. Kind of up in the air.
Yeah,
Use it at your own risk.
It figures.
So my position on like modern day swearing, even though I think it's nearly all of it is artificially constructed. It's a social construct where people are just conditioned to find offensive. And there's actually, if you break down the meaning of the words, there's not really like oftentimes actual offense given unless they qualify for something where they're wishing ill will upon someone, something bad happened, they want to die, something like that, right? I think a lot of it is social construct. Yet I don't swear. I still don't swear, and I don't say slurs and stuff. And the reason why is out of a common courtesy, because people find it offensive. Even if, and I know I didn't with retard, because retard, I think, all right, there comes a level where your offense, right, is unreasonable, where you being offended at something that isn't actually offensive should not be grounds to restrict my behavior based on, things like, for instance, believing that men and women are different and you can't change your gender, right? That's a truth that I believe, and people find that offensive, but I'm not going to change my fundamental beliefs based on someone's offense. Okay?
Also, if you're forced to watch a son speak for more than 10 seconds, you're going to have to use the word at least 10 times.
Well, there's that. And so those are the reasons why I don't use slurs or swear, but I didn't back down on retard, because I don't think people should be offended about retard. Actually, like, retard is a really good technical word. Do you know the origin and meaning of retard? That it means it means held back. Well, no, it means held back or delayed or restricted.
I'm being completely serious right now. My son is retarded. He's
like in a technical term. Yeah, retard was applied to mentally disabled people as a polite way to refer to them initially, because it was a technical word that meant slowed down, restricted. And so if your car has a flat tire, your car is retarded. Okay. Mm-hmm. Your car has become retarded because of the flat tire. That is the origin and technical meaning of the word retard. And so they use it to refer to mentally disabled people as a polite thing, a polite way to refer to them. And then it just,
you can put a retardant in your oil paints to slow
exactly. That's exactly
your seat can be fire retardant.
Fire retardant. Exactly. That's the origin and meaning of the word. That's the technical use to have a retardant. Exactly that application.
This picture like a coat with pictures of a sauna all over it. It's fire retardant.
It's just retardant.
It's just retardant. That's a retardant. It's not fire retardant.
Yeah. And so I grew up, that was like, the kid insult growing up, as well as just a word people use and everything. And I think there comes a point where, no, we need to hold the line and say, no, your offense is now unreasonable. I will show common courtesy to a certain level just to not offend you, because I think, you don't want to upset people for the sake of upsetting them, right? But if it comes at me suddenly having to concede on my standards and even fundamental beliefs, like what is a woman and what is a man, that's like, no, you need to grow up now, okay? You don't have a right to control everything about me based on your offense. That's not how this works. And so, yeah, retard was a place where I drew the line in the sand, so to speak, and saying, no. Okay. Yeah. There comes a point when people can't control your behavior based on their feelings. Marksman of 117B. Shad is a supporter of AI. Indeed, I am. Well, actually, look, AI art, I'm a supporter of. Not everything AI. I think some applications of large language models are concerning. And I'm becoming more anti-robot these days. Are you guys like, are you anti the robots?
Why? What has a robot ever done to you, Shad?
That's the point. It's the potential, Mike. Okay, it's the potential. Because here's the thing, right? In AI, there are things called artifacts or undesired results, and you see that in AI art, like multi-fingered monstrosity. Like they're less and less now. It's getting better, but even in some of the best AI generative models, like for AI art, you will still get artifacts or anomalies or bad results. All right. When you have a bad result in AI art, doesn't harm anyone, but you can't really avoid the occasional bad result. That will exist with every application of AI. And so if you give AI ability to autonomously control something in the real world, like put it in a robot, suddenly its bad result, its artifact might be accidentally doing something with a knife or something like that. It actually has proper consequences that can really do damage. And so I'm like, I'm not sure I'm on board with the robots, guys. Maybe we shouldn't give AI autonomous movement in the real world. Maybe that's more reasonable.
There's a whole fleet of cars. They already do that too.
I'm not sure I'm okay with it, Mike. Like, I'm not sure.
Well, you can't stop progress.
Yeah. But AI art is a completely, I feel, separate thing and actually harmless. I'm not saying it's not going to affect people's jobs or livelihoods. That's just the nature of technology. People can actually use it to benefit more of it. But I'm saying it's not going to, stab someone accidentally or drive their car into a tree or something like that. But sorry, Marksman of 117B, you got me off a tangent. Have you seen that Democratic Penguins Republic Trade War by Demon Flying Fox? I have not. I want a film based on that music vid. Gold idea. All right. I might have to check that out. I do not know that one. Thank you for the super chat. And Will Spain for $2 says, Dunkula's vid on N-word mum is titled Stolen Valor.
Stolen Valor. All these guys going, hey, they say it all the time.
Yeah, that's
$1 million. Like, where's my $10 million?
That's what people are saying.
Where's my $400 million?
They've been saying it all the time. Where's their $500,000 stolen?
At this point, he's making like $400 million a year.
That's funny.
Brian Cannell should be a billionaire.
That's funny. Oh my gosh. There was a post on X, and it's like there was this picture of this guy speaking really seriously to this woman, and she's looking nervous, and it was entitled "Me Explaining to My Wife How We Can Become Financially Independent."
So here's what we do.
This is what you got to do, my dear.
It must be like an Always Sunny scheme. Like, okay, Charlie, we're going to say the N-word.
I love the one where they become crack addicts so they can get welfare.
The one where they become black people, like they become black, and like Danny DeVito has a whole song like, "I'm going to say the N-word." No.
Stolen.
And they had the whole point where like they got like Mac and Charlie and I think Dennis, they all got arrested because they're black, and then like they get released because they're church blacks. like oh, thank goodness we're church blacks.
Dragon Wise, we do not need your further encouragement of Mike. Mike, don't. But thank you for the super chat. We're going to leave it there. Mike does not need further encouragement. Judah for $10 says, I need to say, US common men are furious. We are so annoyed with all the narrative speakers that we are now actively shutting down all of them. Shut up is the new demand cause. We're just done. So I kind of get what I say. People are fed up. They're fed up with the cancel culture, and the support of her GoFundMe, the N-word mum, is to say F you to a lot of people. That's what I think is happening. Real name never to be seen for $20 says, what I hate the most about N-word discourse is that if it's nearly as big as the deal as some people make it out to be, it wouldn't be used as much as it is by the usual suspect. I'm biracial. I'm allowed to say this. And look, I do find this weird double standard. Like, is the word bad or is it good? Permissible, not good. Is it bad or is it permissible? That's the standard. If it's bad, all people should be held to the same standard. Bad word, don't say it. Okay? Should we not? And that's just, guess what? That's called not being racist and treating people all the same and not different according to the color of their skin. Look at that. Light of the Even Star for $10 says, the N-word has reached the fever pitch of saying Voldemort, a word so terrible that to utter it is a hex. When they stop calling each other it 100 times a day, I'll take it seriously.
It's kind of what it does feel like, because like even like if you watch the first Harry Potter movie, it's like, okay, don't say it, Harry, don't say it. Right? It's it is trying to treat it like that. And I do like this, like the EFAP baller, the joke about the Rise of Skywalker, where C-3PO is like, I know what the word is, but I can't say it. Is it the N word? I know what it is, but I can't say it.
Judah for $2 says, Chuck Norris switching from Democratic to Republican? I have no idea the context or background of that.
There was an interview with Chuck Norris saying that he used to be a Democrat, and then he found out how insane they were, and they became Republican.
Oh, Chuck Norris. Vare for $5 says, I don't trust Hendrix with that kind of money. She has a very sketchy past, ranging from drug abuse, kids out of wedlock to different fathers, etc. I think that's
I haven't given her shit.
I'm not surprised.
Well, yeah, I
haven't given her a dime.
Same.
Give me money, not her.
Yeah.
Buy my comic.
How can they give you money, Flash?
You can go to Rip Ascend, go to the Mighty Golden Patriot, and buy it all.
Based. That's the way. And Reyes de Madrid donates $20.
Reyes de Madrid.
Reyes de Madrid drops it on the table and walks out like a Chad. Appreciate you, sir. Yeah,
she probably will spend all of the money.
I don't know.
You're gonna see her buy a fucking expensive car.
Yeah,
all kinds of shit.
I mean, if she was smart, she would get a house, get security, and use the money for.
If she was smart, she'd probably have a husband. I mean, at that point,
I don't know anything about her. I don't know about her past.
She looks like she would be using a lot of drugs and stuff too. Like she looks very sketchy, like a sketchy person. Like if I saw her at the playground, I probably wouldn't go. If I had like, kids, like I was taking my kids or whatever to the playground. And
everything you're saying about her makes me think she has a N-word pass.
She probably does. She probably says it all the time.
What was I going to say? I forgot now. I don't know. Think about. That's what I was like. I think she was the one that launched the Give Send Go, like did it herself, right? And if she did, that's like 4D chess right there. She played the system.
She knew it was going to happen.
She launched it herself.
Wow,
it's like help me protect my family or something.
Yeah,
I think, yeah.
So, like, smart move. She like could have destroyed her life. She's turned it around. Like she played them. That's on Whatever.
It's like reparations.
Stolen valor.
Stolen valor. That's just that's funny, man. All righty, well, let's wrap up. I had a feeling that the two topics today would kind of cause us to be somewhat engaged in discussion for a while. There are a couple other smaller topics. Trump putting a tariff on any film made out of the US now, 100% tariff. You hear that?
It's going to be. I think
It'd be
it might
weird
be
how that. How do you work that out? I don't know.
I don't know either.
So more stuff made in America. I think it's going to put pressure.
I don't want my tariff. I don't want tariffs on my Godzilla.
You can make it here in America.
We can still get access to it.
God. Don't.
That's the thing. It's like a quarter of the price to film something in Canada than it is to film it in America for some reason, or even going down to New Zealand or Australia.
And what is this? What else does this spread to? What about anime?
Yeah, I think I don't know actually, because film. I have no idea.
I don't like this because it could
be weird.
It could take away all of the great stuff from other countries.
I think it's going.
Have you seen most of the American entertainment industry? It's shit.
Yeah. Is it just going to up the price and we'll still have an access to it? That's what you think would be the ultimate result.
I think it's,
but it depends. Like if it's in production, 100% increase on anything from within the US that's being made outside, like that's a kick in the balls. Like that removes the incentive of producing stuff in the UK and Canada then. Because that could be, if that's the way, and incoming media like anime isn't tariffed, it's like, I don't know. I don't really like, because I don't care about a lot of American-made media. So, yeah. It's just kind of been floating around on X. We don't have huge amounts of time because we're basically wrapping up now. It's just something that, interesting. And there's a couple other topics, but we got to the main ones. So let's sign off and Flash. I'm sure there's something that you'd like to mention before we say goodbye to everyone.
Yeah, you got to check out the Golden Patriot. Let your patriotism bleed and pick up the greatest comic book ever. The Mighty Golden Patriot.
Cover B.
Cover B.
Get Mike's cover.
Mike, did you drop the link in the chat for that?
B for Mike. And then don't forget to pick up a copy of Fantastic Slurs and Where to Find Them.
That's LitDev's next project.
I make a superhero comic where the guy's just an extreme racist and he just takes people out with the N-word.
I could take what if I made a historical comic set in the American Civil War?
I can't stand McDojo martial art crap like this.
What is this? Like fake martial arts stuff?
Do you know, like those are terracotta tiles stacked in the most optimal way?
Yeah, this is what I said when I was on Side Scrollers today. There's a technique to this. Especially like when you see people break boards, the boards are really thin.
It's always in line with the grain as well.
Yeah.
Dude, if you lean on this hard enough, you will do this. This is not impressive.
There's a trick to it.
I think it's more of the woman doing it that's drawing all the attention. If this is a man doing this,
a man who has all the upper body weight, let alone strength. If a guy just puts his weight into it and does that, I get annoyed when they're presented like this.
She has the benefit of looking like Chun-Li.
Yes. That's probably what people are watching more.
She doesn't have those monster thighs that Chun-Li has.
I know. Yeah, she does not have. She's not have the thunder thighs.
Yes, thick thighs, save lives, as they say.
I heard the story. I like the story of the guy who made Chun-Li, where they asked him, "Okay, what was your purpose behind like her giant thighs? Is like some sort of purpose?" He's like, "I like thighs."
Done. That's all you need.
Yep.
You're looking for some deeper meaning. Nope, he just likes thighs.
Hey, Mike, anything that you want to mention while we sign off?
Yeah, in about a half an hour, I'm going to be doing a stream on Whatnot. Whatnot is this. It's relatively new site where it's kind of like a cross between like an eBay and a YouTube. So you can stream there. It's like being at a Comic-Con. I'll be honest with you. At least the comic section. It's like you sit there and you draw, and then people watch you draw, and and then they friggin', commission you, or they buy the stuff you've already drawn or your comics or whatever you have in your store. It's really cool. And I put the link up in the chat if you guys want to follow me there later tonight.
You guys seen this?
Yeah, I saw this.
Good. Yeah. I saw these.
I love it. Look, man, AI is just getting so good.
I played a lot of Street Fighter when I was a kid.
Yeah. And that guy looks like Mike Tyson.
That is Mike Tyson.
It was supposed to be. It's supposed to be Mike Tyson. It's pretty much Mike Tyson. There's a Red Guardian.
Yeah.
And the guy with the patch. What was the guy with the patch name? Like the guy with the eye patch. What was his name again?
Zangief.
Charlie Sheen.
No, not Zangief. Zagat. Zagat.
His name is Sagat.
This is fun, man. I just love what AI can do with this type of things, and it's looking more realistic as well. Like this is almost.
That's what happens when he loses.
Yeah. Oh, wait. This
is way worse.
What's this guy's name again?
Dalsum.
Dalsum.
Dalsum, that's
or
right.
Dalsim or whatever.
That guy was cool. I like his yoga power.
He's tough to beat with those long reach.
Yeah.
If you got somebody that knows how to use him.
Oh, Ken looks
like fighting Luffy.
He's sad.
Ken a crybaby.
Ken's crying like. Yeah. That's the guy Ryu beat before Street Fighter 2. He unthroned him.
Oh, there's Vega.
Vega.
It cuts himself. See?
Oh, does he? Oh, hey.
Yeah, that one's not the best one.
Yeah.
M. Bison.
Oh,
he's Chinese.
That's not Raul Julia.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I never knew he was Chinese.
Yeah, it's not Tuesday yet.
Hey, Dave, anything you want to mention while we sign off?
I just use the usual morning nonsense, 8:35 a.m. Eastern every weekday. And I want to get my video out on May the 4th and then Revenge of the 5th, but not yet. But it's almost done. I have like a few more days left of editing, and it'll finally be done. 2.5 hour video, finally.
What's the topic?
Going over The Last Jedi, going over it again after 8 years, and see if it is why did we hate it so much, and was it really that bad? The answer is yes. But,
yes.
That is yes. I go over exactly why it was that bad.
Oh man! You see that? Like,
hey, someone said glass.
A gorilla can't even beat glass, let alone 100 guys.
Yeah, exactly. Humans would wreck the gorillas if they're committed. We debate about this on the last stream. That was fun. And for me, everyone knows where I am. I appreciate everyone showing up. Appreciate you guys. Good to see everyone once more. And we will see everyone next week on the Culture Crusade. So, as always, stay on watch.